Nottingham Forest are considering taking legal action against Spurs over their approach for Morgan Gibbs-White. They believe Tottenham acted illegally and breached confidentiality with his £60 million release clause. Former Forest striker Rob Earnshaw.
Let's face it, they'll get down to the table, start negotiating at some point. That's what I believe. It would be devastating for Nottingham Forest to lose Gibbs-White. I think he's become such an important player, an excellent talent.
Remember Saturday's game against an Australian...
Good afternoon, you are listening to Kick-Off here on talkSPORT. I'm Jason Cundy. Alongside me in the next 3 hours is the EFL legend, but more importantly, all-round good egg, Adebayo Akinfenwa. He's here! Big man, how are you?
I'm very well, my buddy.
Lovely to have your company on a Saturday afternoon.
Come on, they said I was coming in with you, and you know I was
and you
coming.
thought, okay, I'll turn up for this one. I'm definitely.
I said I'm coming in for this one.
On the show this afternoon, we'll be asking whether there can be any argument that Chelsea, the Super Chelsea, look at Bayo's face now, look at it. Look at it.
Already done.
Could be the best club in the world.
Oh,
Bayo, best club in the world, matey.
Oh, Lord.
We beat PSG tomorrow evening live here on talkSPORT. It's going to be a tall order, but you know what? I've seen it before in 21, in 12. Right? Yeah. It's what we do, Bayo.
Yeah.
Right?
You keep gassing
it's
yourself.
It's what we do.
You keep gassing yourself.
We'll also get an agent's perspective even on the Morgan Gibbs-White transfer saga, just how much of a crime really is tapping up. It happens. Every club does it. It's what goes on. It's what agents are there for, isn't it? 03717 223344. Plus, we're here for Serena Wigman, ahead of the Lionesses' crucial final Euro 2025 group game against Wales tomorrow. So that'll be live on talkSPORT as well. This is Kick-Off. He's Bayo. I'm Jason. This is Kick-Off live here on talkSPORT. Hello, good evening, good afternoon. What is it at 5 o'clock? Is it afternoon or evening? What do you say at 5 o'clock?
I still say afternoon.
I said afternoon, but in my opener it said evening.
Yeah, I get it.
So where's the cut-off? Where'd you go?
6 o'clock.
I think 6 as well.
Oh, come on.
I think 6.
JC.
That's why I changed it. So afternoon is 5. No one cares.
Yeah, I ain't gonna.
No one's going to say, no.
What are we talking about? It's evening. It's afternoon.
No one's going to say that.
They will, though. There will always be some people.
Will there be people listening to the game
and be like, what?
He's got that wrong.
Hey, JC's got that wrong.
He's got that wrong. Not for the first time. How are you, big man?
You know what? I'm well, man. You know, I listen, I live by a mantra that I count blessings and not problems. So I'm well, man. I'm good.
Listen, you and I swapped messages before Wimbledon. I was at Wembley with the Super Dons.
Yeah. We were both there.
That's where I'm born and bred. I'm a Chelsea fan, but that's where I'm born and bred, just off Hayden's Road. And the Super Dons got promoted, so I was messaging you. We never met up at the time.
We didn't. I was there working. You was there having fun.
I was having
fun.
What I'm saying?
You was having fun. You know, I see there was a bag of you that went. There was a lot of you. It was enjoyment, but listen, it was a beautiful day, well deserved, and hopefully now they can kick on.
Yeah, what next though? Because they kind of yo-yo between 1 and 2, don't they? There's that Johnny Jackson's got a next season mid-table. Is that acceptable?
You know, I know some people always say you got to kick on, which you do. I think you should always try and aim as high as possible. I think you should go in there and say, maybe in-house, be like, nah, man, let's kick on. Like, let's use this momentum and get promoted again. But all jokes aside, it's all about staying in the league and building. And I know it does. They go up and down, but in regards is to stay in the league and kick on. So fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed they can sustain and then kick on.
What a great day at Wembley, by the way. Man, it was amazing, honestly.
Wembley,
it's such a good day.
If you go up on the playoffs, I'm talking about both players and fans.
Yeah, well, you've done it, right? You've been there.
On both sides.
Yeah.
On both sides. Listen, when you do it, it's amazing. When you don't, you just want the world it's just so, but it's amazing. Such a day, such a wicked day for everybody involved if you do win it.
Indeed. He's Bayo, I'm Jason. You are listening to Kick Off here on talkSPORT. Now, last night, I'm feeling a little bit ropey, I'm not going to lie. Last night, I'm sweating. Last night, I was at Jamie O'Hara's engagement party.
Congratulations.
Okay, it's engagement party. It was a big shindig, really well put together. Brilliant night, by the way. Brilliant night. So solid crew were there. Majestic was DJing. It was like a festival stroke nightclub stroke.
I'm sorry, I just want to say, Jamie, when I see you, because my invite must have got lost. So I'm just saying, when I see you, we're going to have a conversation. Yeah. But say nothing, it's cool though.
Okay. You wouldn't have gone anywhere.
I know. No, of course I would have.
You would have gone.
That's busy.
But here's the thing, right? So there's lots of like minor celebrities there, ex-footballers, that sort of thing, right? But I met Andy Carroll. Yesterday, right? He was there, and I looked across, and I was like, I've never met him before.
Yeah,
right. And I see him, and I thought, right, is he? And he eyes kind of caught, and I got up and we went and had a chat.
Okay.
First and foremost, what a lovely bloke.
Right, yeah, I heard this about him.
What a lovely bloke, right? So I'm chatting about him, about going over to France and playing, and various different things. He's coming back, and he's trying to find a club and so. And I'm looking at him, going, "Your beard's amazing." Your beard, honestly, your hair is amazing. He's 6'4", fit, slim. I'm looking at his face going, oh my God, you're a beautiful man. I know. Wait, what's going on? I know. Bayo.
This story time. Oh, wait, what?
Bayo, I swear on my life, right? So I'm speaking to him, and but the thing is, and why wouldn't he be a lovely boy? But the way he spoke, and but I'm looking at everything.
You haven't measured. Did he smell good?
He probably did.
So you didn't clock that bit yet. All right, cool. All right, okay. That's good, because that's cool. That's fine, because
I didn't get that close.
I was wondering where the story was going, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't get that close, but I'm looking and going, the beard's perfect, the hair's perfect, everything's perfect. I tell you what's not been perfect at Wimbledon, it's been an absolute slaughter. Lisa O'Sullivan's SW19. Lisa, what a quick final that was.
Unbelievable. Iga Swiatek has smashed her way to the Wimbledon ladies title. She's taken apart the American Amanda Anisimova. 6-love in just 57 minutes. It's the first time since 1911 that the losing player has failed to win a game in the ladies singles final here at SW19. An absolute heartbreak for Amanda Anisimova. She's put a towel over her head. She just couldn't get into this match. She was very tight. She was clearly very nervous. But let's pay tribute to Iga Swiatek. Her 6th major confirms her as the most successful champion among the active players. Her 100th Grand Slam win with the title, and the fastest woman to 100 Grand Slam wins since Serena Williams back in 2004. She's Poland's first Wimbledon champion, and she is absolutely and rightly delighted. She's a 5-time major champion before today. She'd won the US Open in 2022 and the French Open in 2022, 23 and 24. She's added the Wimbledon crown to the pile and is jubilant in her celebrations. Iga Swiatek beats Amanda Anisimova 6-love, 6-love.
Lisa, congratulations to Swiatek. That's, even in the semi-final, she only lost 2 games. She's lost none in this. It's been an absolute slaughter, but Anisimova, I have to say, your heart's got to bleed for her, because to turn up on the biggest stage on the biggest day of your life and to get walloped like that's, I don't know how she's going to deal with that, actually. Not to even win a single game is that's going to be heartbreaking for her.
Well, there is a phrase on the tour, Iga's Bakery, because if you lose 6-love, it's known as a bagel. If you get one game, it's known as getting a breadstick. But Iga Świątek has form at handing out 6-love sets to her opponents. And there was, I think, a line, I've already seen it, that the Wimbledon branch of Iga's Bakery is well and truly open. And Anda Anisimova has actually left centre court temporarily, I suspect to try and compose herself, because we will have the ceremony. The Princess of Wales will come out to present the runners-up trophy to her, which she will have to, and she will also have to speak to the centre court crowd. So that is going to be incredibly difficult for her. It is just such a big thing to play at Wimbledon at centre court, and let's not rule out how brilliantly she's played to get to this stage and how well she played against Irina Sabalenka. She's come back having taken time out of the sports after burnout and suffering from grief, and she achieved so much over the last fortnight, but she just met a player who has finally found her way on green, on the grass. Iga Świątek finally can play on grass, and everybody else is really going to struggle to stay with her.
Indeed. I want to talk about the men's doubles. The first Brits for years, Lloyd Glasspool and Julian Cash. A good day for those boys.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, they beat the Australian Rinky Hijikata and David Pell of the Netherlands 6-2, 7-6 on centre court. That was a really exciting second set tiebreak there. The first major title for either Lloyd Glasspool or Julian Cash. They survived match points in the quarter final before putting out the defending champions then. And it's the first time since 1936 that an all-British pairing have won a Grand Slam title in an all-British men's doubles pairing. So a really good day for them, but a bit of disappointment in the men's wheelchair doubles. Alfie Hewitt and Gordon Reid were denied a 7th title. They were beaten 7-6, 7-5 by Martin de la Puente and Ruben Spargen of the Netherlands.
At least, and tomorrow, of course, we've got the men's final, number 1 and 2, Sinner, Alcaraz, the two best players in the world. There's a reason they're 1 and 2. I mean, we saw in France not that long ago what these boys can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't make too many plans. It's gonna eat into the time where the Lionesses are playing, I suspect. The match being played at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the first time we've seen Wimbledon shuffle the start time for the singles final so that they can put a bit more of a spotlight on the doubles. So those two will come out, and that French Open match, perhaps one of the greatest of all times, went well over 5 hours. It's very difficult to decide who might win that. Jannik Sinner really playing himself back into form by demolishing Novak Djokovic in his semi-final, but Carlos Alcaraz has won this title twice, and he is loving life here at SW19. He's full of joy. He doesn't have any kind of injury, and he is very much looking forward to getting his hands on a three-peat, getting that trophy back under Spanish control.
Lisa, brilliant stuff. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, just confirmation there. It's an absolute slaughter, Bayo. I mean, you know, the biggest day of your life. Anisimova didn't win a game. Swiatek wins 6-love, 6-love. She only lost 2 games in the semis as well. Absolute romp. And that's...
You know what's bad? Because you see her coming back out now, Amanda, who lost it. And, of course, she went into the changing room and you could see how upset she was. And, you know, before a big game, you know... We've all been there, mate. We've been there, and you picture both sides, innit? You picture... best case scenario, but I don't think you ever picture like worst case, as in, you know, and to not get a point. So, you know, you're thinking, even, you know, the first game, you're like, all right, let's reset, you know, and then it gets into that. And then you just look at it and 57 minutes, the game's done. The biggest game of your life, where it's especially Wimbledon. Your heart goes out because she won't be able to get away from it, because we will be talking. Social media will be talking about it, you know, as bad as she played, as good as the winner played. So, I feel for her, man.
I do indeed as well. She was, by the way, this time last year, was outside the top 140. She's now ranked 13 or seeded 13. Anisimova, but unfortunately she got absolutely blown away by Swiatek. 6-love, 6-love. She has won the Wimbledon. Congratulations to her. He's Adebayo Akinfenwa. I'm Jason Cundy. We're talking about man crushes. We're going to talk about Chelsea potentially being the best club in the world. Why are you laughing?
Because I thought you started off with a joke there, because it was funny. Where
you Liverpool fans make me laugh.
Listen, it's not even that. It's if you win this pre-season tournament.
I don't honestly.
I'll congratulate you. In my head, I'll be like, you know what? Well done. It was a good pre-season tournament.
Pre-season.
Like, that's how you don't see it like that.
It's
No?
end of season.
Yeah, like
End of
pre-season and that. Like, or end of
It's in
season.
between the
Like,
two.
let's just say, yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I'll
Whether it's
give you that.
pre-season or end of season,
All
why
right,
does it
cool.
matter?
Because it's the relevance of it, the status.
Oh, you
of
don't.
it.
You don't.
No, I don't listen.
No,
Before you come, success is success.
Yeah.
You want to go and win anything you go into.
Right.
So I'll salute that. Clap.
Best
if
club
they
in the
go
world
in.
if we win it.
No, that's all. I just put it back to that. But congratulations if they go and do it.
Okay.
Because one
All
thing
right.
I would say, I'm going to go on record and say this, right? I actually don't like the fact that PSG is just beating everybody.
No, and
Do
they're
you know what I'm saying?
smashing,
Like, and you know, all the British clubs, they just came and you know, to be fair, they beat Liverpool on penalties. You know, so we can just.
Oh, they were
I
the
just-
better side.
I just want to.
They were the better side.
At their place.
Yeah, they were
At their place, at Anfield, we should have won. I'm just putting that.
over
There.
the two legs. They're better side, mate.
Look, all them McQuams that they deserve to win, but you know they just beat us on penalties. But everybody else, all the British clubs, they beat, and I now just don't like when they just come and just wipe the Premier League teams.
I think they are right now the most complete side.
I agree.
The only two centre halves, they're aging centre halves. They're the only two. The fullbacks. I mean,
Mendes?
and you, Hakimi, the other side.
Yeah.
Doing
Do you know
bits.
what? So, to be fair, sorry, I keep doing Hakimi a disservice. I apologise. Hakimi, oh my days, yeah. But the way it's the other side because I've seen Mendes just wrap up everybody. Like I'm talking about, it's the way and it's all different type of wingers that he's wrapped up. So I'm like, yo, man. And there's nothing, when you see him talk, it's not like he's cocky or arrogant.
No.
He's just like, I'm here to do my job and I'm trying to get better as I go. And then you're right, you got Hakimi that just keeps going, like, and then the three up front.
You got Doué up top.
Doué, who's just,
Kvaratskhelia.
and then Dembele, and then
You're making me nervous.
and
all
then
right?
Bacola,
He
and
comes
then
off the bench.
jeez.
Anyway, we're going to talk about that. Also, your man crush. I'm going to ask Bayo, who is his man? Everyone's got a man crush, right?
No, listen, no.
Is it me?
No, it's you. I ain't gonna lie. It's you. Like, I don't know what happened. And the baddest thing is when you started telling me that story about Andy Carroll, like I said, it started off as a rom-com. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's go with it, right? Like, you caught eyes from across the room.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
Well, I saw it.
And then when you walked across both of
No,
you,
but it's only-
everything was slow motion. This is what I'm seeing.
It's one way. I don't think Andy Carroll thinks I don't think he feels the same about me. He's Adebayo, Akinfenwa, I'm Jessica. This is Kick-Off Live here on talkSPORT. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever you want to call it. 20 past 5. Who's Adebayo, Akinfenwa? I'm Jason Cundy. You are listening to Kick-Off here on talkSPORT. A bit of Hungry Eyes.
Yeah.
Do you like Dirty Dancing as a film?
Dirty Dancing,
Yeah.
with Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a great film, isn't it?
Classic.
It's a great film.
Classic.
No one puts baby in the corner.
Nobody puts baby in the
Nobody
corner.
puts baby
I ain't
in the
gonna lie though, when I was younger, I liked that line. Then as I've gotten older and I've got 2 daughters, I wish somebody come tell me I can't put my daughter in the corner.
Why?
What? What?
Wait.
So
Oh,
my
no, okay,
daughter's
go on,
sitting
go
down.
on.
My daughter's sitting down with me at dinner,
Right.
and a dude comes
I know.
beside me and says,
I know,
"Hey,
but-
nobody put." I'll be
know.
like, "Butter,
No.
you're going in the
I
corner."
know, but it's Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Well,
Man,
you think again, it was Patrick. You looked up at Patrick Swayze, right?
No, but
What about if it was Andy Carroll?
well, it depends how his beard's shaped.
Mate, I promise you, he's a beautifully groomed man.
That was see now I'm picturing there must have been music when he was talking. Was music playing?
Mate, it could have been this, right? Could have been this in the background. Imagine me talking in slow motion.
This is how I saw it. When you started the story, I was like, oh, he's like, wait, hold on, wait. Yeah, man, his hair was back, and
Is it?
And I was just looking at him like,
Yeah.
because you're looking up as well.
I'm looking up at him. He's a giant. Honestly.
JC, this
I
is
know.
killing me.
I know. It's not often you meet someone and go, wow, you're an impressive person. And you go, well,
Yeah.
what a lovely boy, more importantly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be?
Good energy.
He had the whole...
He had the.
I wouldn't mind being Andy Carroll for a day.
It was like, oh, it's like that. Oh, that's a real impact.
Yeah, no.
Pause. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Andy Carroll.
Made a big impression. Man Crushes, 0377223344. We'll talk about Chelsea in a second, Super Chelsea. Man Crush, who's your mate? You must have one.
No, to me, and it's going to sound such a cut, but the only time where I've kind of seen somebody and have just gone, damn, like it's my younger brother. Like,
Is your younger brother?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
you got a man crush on your brother?
No, I got a man crush. I just was like, raw, damn.
What?
It was what we had a suit together in it, so and we had different colour, and he came out. I was like, oh, damn. So I looked at myself and then
he
I
looked
looked at
better than
him.
you?
Yeah.
Did he?
But don't tell nobody. This is between
Well,
us. Ain't nobody gonna know this, right? This is between me and you. Don't tell him.
I won't say a word.
Don't say a word.
So if it gets out,
yeah.
it'll come from me.
Yeah, to be fair, he's the only one. I was like, oh, damn.
Where is your brother now?
To be fair, he's helping Mumsy. Mumsy just moved to... She moved... Where she moved? Moved to Luton.
Right,
so
okay.
he's helping Mumsy now.
Right, okay.
So,
Will he be listening?
I don't know. He could be carrying wardrobes, or he could be if he's driving, he's listening.
Right, okay.
But he's probably carrying wardrobes and that. To be fair, I've even come to think about it, I think he's like the best as well. Oh, I don't like that boy. He's out there helping mums move, do the wardrobe,
and you're in there talking,
and I'm out here talking, and he looks better than me in a suit. Oh, yeah. So he's the only one where I was like,
okay.
Yeah, you know what? Damn,
he looks good. 0371723344. Everyone's got a man crush, haven't they? Let's talk about the Super Chelsea. We take on PSG tomorrow in the Club World Cup final live here on talkSPORT. 8 o'clock kickoff. It's a much. To be honest with you, babe, when we went into it, and I've been saying this for since it came out, no one asked or needed this competition, right?
Right.
It's something we don't need. The football calendar does not need it.
Correct.
I have to say, it's kind of helped us give us content. Loads of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Al Hilal, by the way, don't we see much of them?
Very good team.
What a good team.
Very good
Played
team.
Real Madrid in the first group game. They drew 1-1. They were good. Knocked out Man City. So maybe it gives a bit of a perspective on, we can be a little bit, certainly I feel at times with the Premier League, European football's the best. Some of the Brazilian sides have been good.
Yes.
Al Hilal. I think maybe it's just broadened our horizons a little bit, do you think?
Yeah, to be fair, I think context comes into play. I do think that sometimes we are so tunnel vision, and it's the same because we see European football all the time, and I think sometimes we also are protective of what we see.
Oh, we're the best.
That's
How
how
dare you talk-
that's
we're the
how-
best.
Even me, I'm saying I want Chelsea to win just because PSG.
No, you don't want Chelsea to win.
I'm just saying. No, I'm sitting on. I don't think they will. Do you know what I'm saying?
Who do you want to win?
You know what the matter is? I would take Chelsea to win. You know.
No, who do you want to win?
I would Chelsea over PSG. Yeah, I would want Chelsea to win. I don't like when one team can just dominate. That's just my take on that. If they come and just dominate, so I do like a little bit of yeah, cool, man. We can. You ain't just
Chelsea it would be.
No, but it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. It doesn't affect me. It's a pre-season tournament. Liverpool wasn't in it.
Every time I see you, I say we're the best club in the world.
But you can say that. You were saying that. You were saying that when you finished. When did you finish this season? You were saying that anyway. Yeah. I know. Liverpool won it. I'm just saying. Like,
well done.
you was always. I thank you. You know what I'm saying? You were saying, oh, the league is.
It was a dull league. It was a dull league.
Get out of here. But getting back to the point with, I do think that. I think the tournament's been good in regards to, but then I say context because, look, as a player, I guess, there's status to it. So there is an extra element where you push yourself when there's something and I know it may sound like a cop-out, I'm not playing it, but it's the end of the season. So, and they know the start of the season's coming around the corner. So that actual impetus to go a little bit further and that's the point where I talk about the context of the league. But it's good because you do see teams like Al, you see the South American teams, and you look at it and be like, nah, man, all over the world, there is some good players and good teams. And I think that's the good thing about the tournament. But you're right. I don't think if the tournament never happened, ain't nobody would miss it. You know what I'm saying? If Chelsea win it, ain't nobody gonna care. I'm just letting you say. I'll make you care. I know you. I know you will make everybody care. But as a whole, I think it's cool to have for Chelsea just to feel like. Yeah, like I said, it's a pre-season where they get to bed their new players in. That's what I think for Chelsea. They're like, yeah, it's like a end-of-season tournament where we can just get players to train and then play games. That's what I think.
But now it's here. It's a final. You know, it's like if you're in it, you want to win it.
100%.
Right? And that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
Had we got knocked out in the last 16, this conversation would be very different about Chelsea's season.
Of course.
But now we're here. But we are up against, I said the other day, I think the most complete side.
Yeah.
In terms of there aren't many weaknesses. They are incredibly well organised. Everyone knows what they're doing. But here's the thing about PSG. I used to hate PSG, right, because of the way they went about signing players like Neymar and Mbappe, who's Real Madrid now finding out how lazy he can be. Right. Vinicius Junior and him, who we saw him the other night. Oh my God, if I was a midfielder or defender, you'd be pulling your hair out about those two up top, right?
I've got a different take on that. Okay.
But the way they've gone about it now, they've gone from being a side with trying to sign Galacticos, the best players. I mean, bore off signing Messi. That was such a dull signing.
I disagree. Listen, I see both sides of it, and as much as you're in it, the worst thing is you're in the industry where you know you can't help but know football there's a business element to it.
Yeah.
So I mean, Messi still does stuff for Inter Miami that you're like, but it's breathtaking.
But he was like, why?
But no, where the problem is, it's signing all three of them because the balance was off. Yeah. So you know about a team dynamic, you kind of need a balance. You can't have three people that just want to come alive when they get the ball. We see that
100%.
And that thing is the problem, and that's the reason why, even with your take in regards to Mbappe, I think that don't sign players. And not saying make them want to fail, it's wrong, but sign so you can get the strengths. You know he's not a person who works off the ball, so you then have to sign players who don't mind running extra. And I think that's the problem. Don't get twisted. You can see if everybody works, like PSG, I don't care what it is, you're a better team. I don't care if you've gone
away from that Galactico thing. You've got now look at them.
Yeah.
Now,
100%.
I agree. Absolutely love watching PSG. Obviously, tomorrow night, there's a little bit of fear going into it because of the players they got up top. But those players that we just mentioned there, right, Doué, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, those boys work their tail off without the ball.
They work,
right?
Because they get it.
Right.
They get it.
And they're a team.
They get it. It's the manager. The worst thing is the manager said it, and he said it to Mbappe. He said, listen, you've got to, if you lead from the front, everybody else will follow. And that's what the three of them do. And listen, as a player who, all jokes aside, I didn't run. So
did you not?
No. I'm glad you sound shocked.
No, did you not? I don't know.
JC, I love you, my brother.
You're not the sort of lad that'll put,
that would do what?
Would you not? You'd walk, would you?
No, I'd joggish, like,
I saw you score 2 goals against Wickham, by the way.
Against Wickham?
No, it's Bury. It's against Bury.
Yeah.
At Kingstonia.
Yeah.
Took both far post headers, I seem to remember.
So
that's done your job.
One was a back post header, and then one was like a left foot top bins, but I was inside.
That's not how I saw it.
It was how it was. It's on YouTube. You can see it. No, but the reason why I say it was balanced. So because I wasn't a person who was able to run the channels, it was I had somebody that was okay with doing man's running for me. So I think it's balanced. I think you've got to sign players that can work and go above and beyond. And that's what Paris Saint-Germain's got. They're just at the moment they're a special team at the moment.
They are indeed. Live tomorrow, 8 o'clock kickoff live here on talkSPORT. The Super Chelsea up against the champions of Europe in PSG. Could be kings of the world. Who knows? Any thoughts on that? 03717 223344 plus your man crushes. Andy Carroll's mine after meeting him last night for the first time. Next up, though, we're going to be talking about Morgan Gibbs-White. Sky Andrew, the agent supremo, will talk us through exactly what a release clause is and how it could be made public. This is Kickoff. He's Adebayo. I'm Jason Kelly. This is talkSPORT. music, isn't it? What's happened there?
It went from
What's that music? It's a bit serious, isn't it?
that drop. The drop needs to come in.
That's a bit
Yeah, the drop didn't come in.
It came in, yeah,
A bit late. Yeah, that's it. A bit late.
He's Adebayo, Akinfenwa. I'm Jason Cundy. You're listening to Kickoff. Just let you know that Anna Misova has been thumped 6-love by Swiatek in the women's Wimbledon final. Congratulations to her. Next up, though, we're going to be talking about transfer. It is silly season, right? And of course, when it's silly season, bids come in, and that's why the transfer window is there. Clubs are allowed to go in and bid for players. However, there's a little bit of controversy surrounding the Morgan Gibbs-White's transfer from Nottingham Forest to Spurs. To guide us through it is super agent, all-round good egg as well, is Sky Andrew. He joins us now. Good afternoon, Sky.
Good afternoon, Boogie.
How are you, bud? How are you, matey?
And hi, Addy.
How you doing, Sky? You good?
Sky,
yeah, good, yeah.
Sky, talk us through... there's a release clause in a contract. It's not something that's particularly common in England. I know in Spain it's something that happens a huge amount. Tell us about it, why it's there, and the fact that Spurs have matched it. Where's the problem in my eyes?
Well, it's interesting. I've been in contracts for about 30 years, and a sticking point is always the buyout clause. Not so much in Spain. In Spain, they just put so-called ridiculous numbers in so that the player can never be bought anyway. But in England, a buyout clause is only put in when a player's going to a club and the player and his agent feel that there's another move. So they don't want to get stuck at a club where they don't want to be at. So sometimes players' stock goes up and sometimes player stocks go down. But in this particular case, Morgan Gibbs-White is worth a lot more than 60 million. That's why any club would want to buy him. He's got a buyout clause of 60, but he's worth more than that. If I could bottle what that kid's got and put it into all our other players, I would do. He's got a phenomenal attitude. He's got that desire that a lot of players haven't got. So obviously he's in demand. Now, when an agent's involved in a situation like this, they have to decide which side they're going to go on. And an agent can decide whether or not they go on the buying side or the selling side. Now, if an agent wants people to know what the buying clause is, buyout clause is, then they'll obviously tell people. If they don't, if they want to protect the club where the player's at, then they'll keep it confidential. But there are different forms of buyout clauses. There are buyout clauses where clubs say, we have to tell you if this offer comes in. There are buyout clauses that says, we will allow you to go if this number comes in. So the agent is normally the person in the middle, and the information normally comes from an agent, because clubs use agents, players use agents. Agents are normally the people in the middle sharing information.
Sky, just hold on 1 second, please. This set of draws has been a wicket in the cricket. Sam Mallard is watching day 2, third test, England versus India. Sam.
And England finally have their 7th wicket. India 376 for 7. Jadeja played beautifully for a 72, but he has to go. Wokes, the bowler, a ball on Jadeja's pads. They look just to flick to the leg side. All he could do was help it behind to Jamie Smith, who took the catch diving to his right-hand side. So Jadeja goes for 72. The partnership for the 7th wicket was worth 50 runs. Washington Sundar is not out on 20. Joined in the crease now by Akashdeep. India 376 for 7, trailing England by 11 runs.
Sky, I'm curious, right? So you know the term tapping up, right? I always thought the term tapping up was a club went directly to the player, right? So in regards to a player having an agent, can an agent communicate with a club at any given time?
No, because the agent is the extension of the player.
Okay.
And tapping up is where a club finds out from the player or the agent whether the player will come to a certain club. So it goes on in football, let's not be naive. The bottom line is, how much is a club prepared to pay for a player? Trust me, if a club is going to pay way over the odds and pay more than what the buyout clause says, then there isn't a problem. Here, we have a situation that happens rarely, where you would say a player outperforms a club. If a club outperforms a player, then they let the player go. But this player, Morgan Gibbs-White, is a super talent. He's performed to such a high level that, in my eyes, his value isn't 60 million. You know, he's £100 million player.
But Sky, if there's £60 million buyout, that's the deal that was signed. If he's £100 million player, why didn't they put £100 million as a release clause?
Yeah, you see, this is where clubs have got to have very smart people around, because football, a lot of it is speculation. When the player first came to Forest, he wasn't a £100 million player. He wasn't a £60 million player. But you have to give Forest credit for identifying a player who was doing well, but had the potential to be great. So clubs deserve to be rewarded for taking that so-called risk to take a player, knowing that that player is going to accrue in value. So now the player, in my eyes, is worth 100 million. I mean, he makes a difference. He will make a difference to any team. There's very few players that you can say you can put in a team that will improve the team and make the team more dynamic. And Morgan Gibbs-White is one of those players. He's absolutely superb.
Sky, I agree with you. I'm not even gonna lie. Actually, definitely at one point, I wanted him at Liverpool. I actually think he's that good, especially in that midfield. So I'm curious. So with 60 million being the buyout clause, that's basically the money they can stump up. So once they've gone, look, I've got 60 million for you, and they've reached the clause in the contract. Therefore, and Morgan Gibbs wants to go. Would then a deal happen?
Well, look, the situation is this: is that a club that has the player's registration is within their rights to say, we want the 60 million up front, but not in installments.
Okay.
A bit like what happened with Neymar. When Neymar went to PSG, he had a 200 million euro buyout. And Barcelona said, no, you got to give it to us all up front. And 2 days later, PSG were writing a check. So when transfer deals are done, the clubs agree payment terms, and those payment terms are normally understanding. You know, clubs understand each other, that they've got bills to pay and that they want to make installments over the terms of the player's contract. But if a club is not happy with how it's gone about and then say, look, our player's been tapped up, normally the resolution is for the buying club to pay what the club wants. But here we have a situation where the buyout is 60 million. And if the buyout is 60 million, the buying club has to pay the money and in the terms that Forest want. So there's where the dilemma is. Clubs know that people, agents especially, are going around talking big business, small world. Clubs want to know, does a player want to come? What does the player want? And all that kind of stuff. So that's why these conversations go on. And here's the thing, guys, it's very difficult to prove tapping up. It's very difficult to prove that a club went direct to a player without the permission of a club. We're getting into all sorts of things here, phone records and everything. If it goes to arbitration, where it must go within the football rules and regs, then Forest will have to prove that the clubs went direct to the player or to the agent. And most clubs know that's very difficult to prove. So this is a case now of how much will the buying club pay for the player. And it won't be 60 million, it'll probably have to be more.
So Marinakis is threatening to sue Spurs. Have Spurs done anything wrong? I mean, it's difficult to answer that based on your last question, your last answer, sorry. But right here, right now, where do Forest go from here? What's their next move? Because it's not going to happen. You know, let's be honest, that's simply not going to take place. How do you think this is going to play out over the next 24, 48 hours? Yeah,
I'll say this once, I'll say this twice. Clubs have got to have people in the club that understand the psyche of players and of agents. The bottom line is that no one knew that Morgan Gibbs-White was going to be this good. And he has become this good. So it depends how serious Marinakis is. to me, Marinakis looks like a serious guy. He looks like, you know, I mean, I wouldn't mess with him, yeah? So, well, actually, I would, because I've messed with people more scary than him. But, like, he has got to decide where he wants to go with this. Because once a player says they want to leave, it's very difficult to keep that player at the club. Then the resolution is normally to just get the best deal you can for the club. So Marinakis and his people have got to sit down with Morgan Gibbs White and decide where they go from here. But come on, man, football's very, very straightforward. A club's job is to identify players, identify the best players within their squad, and then to decide when they offer them new contracts. Now, what a lot of clubs would have done is, and I'm not saying there's a disparity on Forest, but if a player performs to a high level, the first thing you do is offer them a new contract and take out the buyout clause.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, you're right. It does make me laugh when, you know, your fans come on and say, you know, it's you know, the Newcastle fans say he's worth 150 million. Well, pay him 150 million pounds worth of players' wages then. Give him that money if that's what he's worth. Right.
I've heard you say that. If I had a pound every time I've heard you say that, I'd be living in the Cayman Islands with Addy and all his mates.
Hey, well, please, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
but listen, Forest for the most part have done great recruitment.
Yeah,
they have. But Morgan Gibbs White is an exceptional bit of recruitment, because what that's proved is that he has excelled to a level maybe even Forest didn't expect him to. So all clubs have got a considerable amount of money, and then their recruitment is crucial. So, you know, hands up to Forest for recruiting Morgan Gibbs White. And now he's excelled at a certain level. It's very difficult to keep the player at the club. But it's ironic, really, because there aren't many clubs that have done better than Forest this year.
Yeah, it's true.
So for him to go to another club, well, you know, he's got to, normally he'd go to a club that have excelled and above Forest. But what Spurs have got in their favour is that they've got Champions League.
Indeed. Yeah.
That has made a big difference. Winning that final against Man United has made such a big difference to the recruitment.
You're absolutely right. Sky, you're a superstar, bud. Have a lovely weekend. We'll catch up soon.
Blessings,
thanks,
brother.
Jay.
Take care,
Addy.
Take care. Sky Andrew there, super agent there, guiding us through the kind of the nuances of what a buyout clause means when he signed that contract. Forest were happy to have a £60 million buyout clause in there. Spurs have found out about it and bid $60 million. I don't see a problem in it. You know, I simply don't. It goes on. Spurs, in my eyes, have done nothing wrong. Forest, I think they'll have to suck this one up. That's what they had in the contract, and take the $60 million and move on.
Yeah, listen. And Sky mentioned it. He said that, look, on one hand, Forest got, I think they're going for 25 million from Wolves. So they identified and said, look, you know what? He's a good player with the potential, and they put a 60 million ceiling on him. But exactly that. If then you look at it and be like, oh, Morgan Gibbs White, he's doing bits. He's got an England call up. Yeah. Look, we may need to go on. Give him a new contract, give him really big wages, knowing that somebody's going to come. So you've got to take both sides of it. Yeah. So in one aspect that they saw it, identified he's a talent, but they're the one who put it in. Of course, it was negotiated, but they put the 60 million. So, and I know fans, when it happens to their teams, like, but it happens. We know in football, everybody has a conversation, and Sky said, listen, I have you for the buying or the selling. Well, whichever one you set on is the information you're going to give. So they take the 60 million. And listen, again, they take the 60 million and try and reinvest it and try and identify another Morgan Gibbs White.
Well, Langa's gone. I don't think they saw this coming as well. But as far as I'm concerned, I'd love to hear from Forest fans about this. How do you feel? Because in my eyes, I'm listening to Bayo as well and Sky. Actually, they've done nothing wrong, Spurs. You've had £60 million in there. It's got leaked. Somehow someone's found out. It ain't the worst news in the world. It happens. This is what agents' jobs to do, to get information out to clubs like Spurs to say, do you know what, £60 million, that's good value. 0371722 3344. Next up, though, we're going to be talking about Chelsea potentially being the best club in the world. afternoon, stroke evening. We're nearly at 6 o'clock, Bayo. We're nearly there, mate. So then,
what, in between, are we still saying afternoon?
I think afternoon, mate. I don't know. There you go. I asked you earlier, right? You said 6 o'clock is when it goes into evening.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it again, though. Right now, at 10 to 6, I'll just say, what's up?
What's up? There you go. What's up? Hope you enjoyed it anyway. He's Adebayo, Akinfenwa. I'm Jason Cundy. While listening to Kickoff here on talkSPORT. We're talking about Chelsea. Chelsea kick-off tomorrow, the Club World Cup final against PSG to be the best club in the world, or not. Let's go and speak to George, who's a Middlesbrough fan. George, good afternoon, evening, whatever it is.
Well, I'll go afternoon for now and evening in about 7 minutes.
I like that, George. I like that, George.
We'll stick to George's rules.
Yeah,
go on, Georgie. What do you say?
Now the Club World Cup, I do like the idea of it because I do think the idea of best club in the world isn't a bad thing. My problem with it is realistically speaking, it should be PSG that wins it because at the moment they are the champions of their league and they've won the Champions League and all that. However, I do think Chelsea's got a chance, but it depends which Chelsea turns up, doesn't it? I mean, if all your boys turn up and play as best as they can, then they'll take it to them. But I can't. The thing I can't take from it is how can it be that currently the best club in the world when, for example, Liverpool aren't in it? I mean, they literally are the Premier League champions.
Say it again. Say that again, George. Sorry, George. Just say that bit again because I don't think JC heard that bit. I don't think he did. I think he. Yeah.
Talk about man crushes, mate. I love you. You are hilarious.
Boys, I'm so sorry. I've got to go back to Lords. George, stay there. Sorry, matey. There's been another wicket in the cricket. Sam Allard.
Down now, 385 for 8. Bryden Cars has the wicket of Akashdeep. A full ball that just moves away from the right-hander who just almost hangs his bat outside of off stump. It comes off the face of the bat and Harry Brook takes an outstanding catch at second slip, diving to his right-hand side. So England have 2 wickets in the space of a couple of overs. First it was Jadeja and now Akashdeep has gone. So India 385 for 7, trailing England by just 2 runs.
Sam, thank you very much. And any other action at Lords, I'll make sure we bring it straight to George. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Go on, Karen. Look, you're right. I can't get away from it. Whoever wins the Club World Cup, you're not the best side of the world. But let me tell you, if Chelsea win it, I'll be saying it. I'll be shouting it from the rooftops. Don't worry about that.
Oh, no, right? I can't disagree with that. If you do win it, then you will always be known as the team who won it the first time. So nobody will ever be able to take that away from you. But for me, moving on, like the Champions League, when it first started, it was the top 2 teams, and then it went to 3 or 4, and now it's just, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it literally doesn't live up to the name of the competition, the Champions League.
See, do you know what,
it's not
right,
the Champions League.
I hear.
The World Cup's the same.
See, Goldstein and Ben heard them talking about this, and a lot of people have a problem with the Champions League name. I don't have a problem with the competition. I don't have a problem with the name of it. It's not, if you really... Okay, let me ask you this, George, right? If they change the name of the Champions League to something else, would that sit better with you?
Probably, but it depends what they call it, because you've got the Europa League, so, I would be happy with it, with them calling it the, I don't know.
It was a European Cup, wasn't it?
What name could it be? Yeah, the UEFA Cup, maybe go back to that and just big it up a little bit more than the Europa League,
Why not change from the Europe?
It's just when the top 4 teams get into it, or even it's 5 this year.
5,
isn't it?
I know.
5 going. Do you know what I mean? None of those. There's only one of those champions.
No, but it's such a great competition, isn't it? Isn't the Champions League an amazing competition? And I don't have a problem with the name of it.
It's been diluted a little bit with teams that. Because the fact is what happens if the 5th place team wins it? Do you know what I mean?
Then that's what. Listen, the best side doesn't always win the cup. Crystal Palace beat Man City in the final, right?
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's all about doing it. Cup football is so different to league football. League football, the best team in that league always wins the league. I don't care what anyone says. You can't fluke a league. You can. I agree.
Top 2 or 3 teams from every league were in the Club World Cup. Then I'd be more lending to it.
He's right.
And I'll do this for you, Addy. If Liverpool were in it, and again, the top 2 or 3 teams, then I'd be more inclined to be happier with it, But they're not, and that's why it's a little bit diluted. If they reformat it and do it properly for next year, then it could be a massive phenomenon. At the moment, it is all about money. There's no doubt about that. But it could be massive because it is a World Club Championship. So, you know, you are literally able to brag that you are the number one on the planet. So that, for me, if they do it right, would be brilliant.
Yeah, so
They've got to do it right.
So I agree with you, George. I agree in regards to, and I hear what JC was saying in regards that, you know what, cup competition's cup competition, but in regards to the teams that are in there, if it's 1 and 2, you generally know throughout the Champions League, if we're just using that, it was the top 2 teams in every kind of league that was in it. So regardless of what 1 and 2 are in it, so then everybody comes from that field. Whereas if a team in 5th wins it, you're right, they're the best in that competition. But from the starting point, it wasn't 1 and 2. No. So I agree with him in regards to that. But I also agree with the World Cup. I mean, this World Club Cup. You get what I'm saying? I mean, Chelsea's in it because let's not even start the reason why Chelsea's in it. Listen, we won
the Champions League in 21. That's why we're there.
Yeah, wow.
Right?
I remember 21.
It's not my fault.
21 I had hair. No, joking.
Why didn't you win it then?
No.
You've been it.
No. Listen, it comes that now. If you're starting it off this ream and in the sense of the status, it should be. If it's the World Cup, it should be all the clubs that kind of won it or second in the world. You understand what I'm saying? That you're bringing in a team that won it 2021 with no players from 2021. I'm not knocking you. I'm just giving that. I just agree with George out here. Listen, George, I'm with you, my brother. Come on.
Yeah, nice one.
George, have a great evening.
Hey, bless you, George.
Good luck next season, bud.
Have a good one, and it's good evening to you.
Good, yes. It's good evening.
It's good evening.
6 has come and passed. The Genesis Scottish Open is ongoing over on talkSPORT 2. Download the free talkSPORT app and find out how the likes of Rory McIlroy and Matt Fitzpatrick are getting on. Crossing next, though, to St Gallen ahead of England as they take on Wales in the Women's Euros tomorrow. You are listening to Kickoff. He's Adebayo, Akinfenwa. I'm Jason Cundy. Thanks for your company. Good evening, you're listening to Kick Off here on talkSPORT. I'm Jason Cundy, alongside me is the former Wickham and AFC Wimbledon Don, Swansea City striker, Adebayo Akinfenwa. Very shortly we'll be hearing from Sarina Wiegman here at the Lionesses' crucial final Euro 2025 group game against Wales tomorrow. We'll also be talking Crystal Palace during the next hour as well. They've certainly been dealt a bad hand after yesterday's disappointing news that they will not be playing Europa League football next season. Plus, Pep Guardiola and Jack Grealish were living up at ISIS yesterday, but not together. More on that later. This is Kickoff, live here on talkSPORT. Now, in the last hour, talkSPORT's Lionesses correspondent Courtney Sweetenkirk has been speaking to Sarina Wiegman. Let's hear some of that now.
Sarina, new surroundings. What do you think of the stadium? And to me, it looks terrific.
Yeah, looks very, very good. What I really like is that it's so closed and that the stands are really close to the pitch. So, yes, and the pitch looks really good too. That's the most important thing, of course. Looks really good. So, yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
As you say, there's no track around it, so the atmosphere is going to be brilliant, especially in terms of like that home nation rather. I just wonder from your perspective what that looks like for you.
Well, for me, I hear about the stories. Of course, I don't have that history, but you can feel and you can tell there's lots of rivalry between Wales and English, and at the same time, there's a lot of respect too. But yes, it feels like a clash.
And just what do you think Wales are going to bring in terms of their style of play? Maybe a little bit more defensive than the first two games?
I think they already had a bit change from France to the Netherlands or the Netherlands to the France game. I think when they do get the opportunity, or they're trying to get the opportunity to play and to play out, but they also don't fear the long ball and have the runs in behind, so we have to be prepared for that. And they're really ready to fight and play as a really compact, strong team. And so we have to be aware of that, and yeah, we have to play to our strengths and be really tight on the ball and keep the ball moving so they are running instead of playing duels against us.
I know the focus is very much on the pitch, but sort of off the pitch, you know, you've been through a period with England where they've created such a big legacy, and I feel Wales are maybe at the start of that. So I just wonder, how you see that from your perspective.
Yeah, that's very, very nice, and of course they wrote history with coming to the Euros now, scored the first goal. What I really like and what's very special that Jess Wisslock scored that goal. So she's waited for that moment for such a long time, and at the age of 38 she gets that moment. It's really nice for her, but most of all also nice for Wales. So hopefully that has a knock-on effect in the country too.
And lastly, brilliant level of performance against the Netherlands. What have you done, in training the last few days? What have you said to make sure that level is seen again tomorrow?
Yeah, it's all about, we talk a lot about, of course, how we want to play, but we showed so much mentality, and then it's about the intent and intensity. And if we can bring that on the pitch tomorrow, in and out of possession, that will give us kind of an advantage on our own, on ourselves. So then we were really good in the game, and then we have to play the game, play football.
That was talkSPORT's Lionesses correspondent Courtney Sweetenkirk. Speak to Sarina Wiegman. We can speak to Courtney now. She's over in St Gallen's over in Switzerland. Courtney, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Good evening, both. How are you?
Good evening. I'm so sorry, Courtney. There's been another wicket at Lord's. Let's go and speak to Sam Ellard. Sam, they're dropping like flies.
Oh, Jace, I wish you were on all day. Ever since you and Bayo have come on, there's been wickets. Well, I've been dying for wickets all day, and JC and Bayo have delivered the wickets. India 9 down, 387 for 9. Chris Woakes gets Bumrah, a lovely delivery that just moved away from Bumrah, takes the outside edge, and India are now 9 wickets down. We are coming towards the end of day 3. England batted first, scored 387. India 387 for 9. End of day 3, scores are exactly level, Jason.
Amazing stuff, Sam. Thank you very much indeed. Courtney, I'm so sorry about that, but you understand we've got to go and keep people updated. How was Sarina? How was she feeling? I mean, it sounds very relaxed there. You understand it. They got the big win against Holland after the disappointing result against France the first time out, but she sounded very relaxed.
Yeah, she did, and I think that's what you always get from Serena Wiegmann, a level of calmness and composure. I don't think she gets too excited and overawed with the highs and equally with the lows as well. No, she doesn't get too despondent, and I think obviously that job as a manager is to try and keep everyone in the middle. And yeah, I think she's very excited for the game. You saw her sort of, when I asked her that question about the stadium, she was looking round, taking it in. So yeah, I think as with most of the Lionesses and Alex Greenwood, who I also spoke to, I just think they're very excited for the game.
So how do you think England's going to approach the game tomorrow after the 4-0 win against Netherlands? How do you think they're going to approach the game tomorrow?
I think they have to come with a level of energy, the same level of energy against the Netherlands, because they were, fantastic from minute one. It was a full 90-minute performance. That energy level never dropped, and especially with Wales, I think they've been not by England, but maybe throughout the tournament, and some other managers in the group maybe a little bit disrespected. I think most people have talked about the group of death, but only really spoke about England, the Netherlands, and France, and almost spoke about Wales as a free hit. And they've got something to play for. Obviously, that home nation rivalry. There is a scenario where they go through, that's probably unlikely, but also a scenario where they stop England qualifying. So I think, look, the approach has to be, you've got to be at full tilt, because if not, they're going to make it really difficult. Wales, yes, they've got their own style of play. They're a little bit more attacking under Ryan Wilkinson, but they're also going to make it really difficult. And it was something quite interesting that got said in the press conference in terms of England not getting drawn into the fight, because I think that's something that Wales will want and feel like they could win the battle in that way.
I have to say, Courtney, going into that game against the Dutch midweek, it did feel like it was a huge game, and of course it was, because of the disappointing result against France in the previous game. But that pressure, obviously with the first goal, helped, but they seemed to enjoy themselves on that night. The shackles seemed to come off, and that pressure that they were very much under, you could see being released.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, look, for winning the Euros, for getting to a World Cup final, I think once you perform on that level consistently, there is always a level of pressure that comes with being an England player now. So I think that the girls are used to that. I think it was Ella Toone that I spoke to after the game and asked her about the France game, and sort of said, throughout that few days after it, did that serve as maybe a little bit of a reminder that you've got to be at full tilt? And she said, yeah, we needed a little bit of a rocket. So, they certainly performed so well with the 4-0 win. And as I say, for me, yes, the technical and tactical, but being pitch side, especially the energy was massive for me. That was the big change, and they've got to bring all that energy here tomorrow at St Gallen.
Let's talk a little bit about Wales. It's the first time they've reached a major tournament. They scored their first goal. They're not out mathematically. They can still get through if they're beating, I think, 4-0. But what can we expect from them?
Yeah, look, I think they're going to be difficult to beat. I don't think we know what team we'll see, because actually I think in the last 7 games, Rhian Wilkinson has never started the same 11. So she likes to tinker with it, which I find quite interesting. I think as a player, I always liked a little bit of consistency. But look, they're going to be tough to beat. In terms of 1v1 battles, they're going to be combative. We know that. And as we mentioned about that rivalry, they're going to do everything to try and stop England qualifying.
Courtney, thank you very much. You take care. Enjoy.
Courtney.
Courtney Sweetman-Cut there, talkSPORT Lionesses correspondent. Looking forward to that game, the final group game for England as they take on Wales. That's live over on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow. Let's go to the lines. Let's go and speak to GJ, the Spurs fan. He's a regular contributor on talkSPORT on the Sports Bar. GJ?
How you doing, boys? You all right?
How come you're phoning us up this time of day? This is normally you phone up around about 10:30.
Yeah, I know. I just finished playing golf, and and I heard you mentioned about the Morgan Gibbs White fiasco.
Go on, then. What do you want to say?
So yeah, that pricked my ears up. Basically, you guys are right. Forest have got no class.
Hold on.
Did you say no class?
Hold on. No one said that.
Wait a minute. But don't come on and just be throwing out them sort of lyrics, yeah? Wait a minute.
Hold on. Wait a minute. There's been another wicket. Lord, it's unbelievable, Sam Allard.
Oh, there we go. India have been bowled out for 387. That means the scores are exactly level after 3 days of cricket. The final wicket to go. Jofra Archer coming in, bowling a bumper, and he gets the wicket. Washington Sundar on the pull shot. It gets a big, thick top edge. There's a backstop in. You don't see many backstops in cricket. That's basically somebody that's standing behind the wicketkeeper near the boundary. So Archer on his return takes the final wicket. He finishes with figures of 2 for 52. This game, Jason, started on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. 3 days later, England batting first, 387. India batting second, 387. Scores are level. Play scheduled to finish at 6:30. England are going to come out to bat for maybe 1 or 2 overs. The scores after 2 innings, exactly level.
Sam, it's so important they do not concede a wicket now. That, get yourself to... Yeah, go on, matey.
This is going to be incredibly difficult. They get the Indian bowlers 2, maybe 3 overs absolute maximum, and any batsman will tell you these are the worst times to bat. They're going to have to run upstairs. There's going to be a quick turnover. They're going to have to put their pads on, and they're probably going to have 2-3 overs. The India bowlers are going to be bang on the money. And these are tricky 10 minutes or so for the England batsmen. And if India can get England 1 down at the end, it'll be an absolute blow for England.
Don't take it personally, Sam, but I hope I don't speak to you again today.
Have a good night, gents.
Take care, Sam. Lawrence, hopefully we won't be going back, because if we do, it means that England have lost a wicket. Let's go back to GJ, the Spurs fan, who, by the way, was putting words in our mouth. And Bayo never said Forrest got in the class. I never said it. GJ?
Yeah.
We never said that, right? Can we just... we never said that.
Right. Let's all calm down, right? Okay.
We can't. Yeah.
So, right, Addy, Jace, what I'm saying is, where I agree with you is where you said Spurs have done nothing wrong, okay? But also, Forest have got no class, right? So, first of all, forget this fiasco. Their behaviour snitching on Crystal Palace was a disgrace, yeah? No one likes snitches, right? And then now you've got this. They can't handle the fact that Spurs are a bigger club and that Gibbs White wants to move to us.
I mean, look, listen, if you came in with that, I'd have said, all right, cool, that's what it says, It was just, that whole class thing, that's where it was. But look, you're right. We both stand and said Tottenham ain't done nothing wrong. Tottenham's identified Gibbs White's a really good player, which will make their squad better. Of course, Champions League's helped because, boy, we know where Spurs finished last season. And of course, I think that Forest dropped the ball in regards to not seeing how far or how good Gibbs White could be. And look, we both said it, that now they're just going to have to try and get the best deal, but knowing that 60 million has brought everybody to the table. So, look, we're all on agreement with that, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, but look, the last player to move from Forest to Spurs, I mean, we talk about 17th, right, last season, right, whatever. The last player to move from Forest to Spurs just scored the winner in a European Cup final.
It's not go, isn't it?
Nah. No.
It's an own goal. I think it's an own goal, GJ.
But listen.
It's an own goal, mate. It's an own goal.
Sorry, you had to take that from you, brother.
No, you're not taking that off credit.
It's an own goal. We can't start claiming goals.
Right? Now, he got a touch, mate. But look, you look at Nottingham Forest, right?
Yeah, right.
Like I said, their behaviour's a disgrace. If you actually, I'm a scientist by trade, right? And we look at data, okay?
Yeah.
If you deep dive the data on Nottingham Forest, they're not actually a big club. They're a small club, right? So if you look at Forest's achievements in the English game, right, it's basically Brian Clough and nothing else. They should be called Cloughie FC.
Oh, GJ, you do make me smile.
Yeah, I know. You just coming in wanting smoke and that.
He's dropping bombs.
You just want smoke out here.
Yeah, but they annoyed me because I'm thinking, look, there's a hierarchy in football. I know our place. I'm a humble guy. We are a Big Six club, but we're at the bottom of the Big Six, right?
You're 17th last year.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, though.
Honestly,
you can't talk with.
You lot were disgraced last year.
At the moment, you lot really can't talk. 17th is very. To say top 6 and finish 17th, look, GJ, look, you know me and you, we cool, we keep it 100 and we just put our but 17th is poor, man. You know what I'm saying? You know them.
Addy, you put words in my mouth. I didn't say we're a top 6 club. Yeah, even though we are.
Yeah, but he just said you're a top 6 club.
What did you say then? Sorry, then maybe I'm go on.
I said we're a big 6 club. If you Google, if you go on ChatGPT and you type in who are the big 6 in the Premier League, we all know who the big 6 are. Spurs are in there, but we're at the bottom of that. I know our place, but I'm saying teams like Forest, right, know your place. Gibbs White wants to move to us, okay? So just let the guy leave. You put a price tag on him, right? We met it. Give us the goods.
Yeah, see, look, the last bit of your thing, I kind of agree. They put a price tag. You got the clause. I'm with you on that. But Forest can be talking now. But see, because Forest can be talking current, innit? So, you're just dismissing them, saying, but boy, last season, but I don't know the score against you when you played twice, but I know they finished way higher than you. So currently, they can be talking like, well, look, you're going back to your kind of past. But the last bit of your statement, I agree. They've met the clause, and look, at the end of the day, they've met the clause, and if Gibbs White wants to go, Gibbs White should come. So I'm with you on that last bit.
I'm sure plenty of Forest fans want to say something about that. 03717223344. Next up, though, we're going to be talking to Jack Grealish. He and Pep Guardiola were at the Oasis concert last night, but not together. What next for Jack? Because he was ostracised from the Club World Cup. It looks like his future lies away from City. 03717223344. Now, England's women face India in the fifth T20. Let's get news now from the toss from Georgie Heath.
Yeah, so the news is that for the third time in a row, Tammy Beaumont, who is standing in as captain in the absence of Nat Sciver-Brunt, has won the toss again. This time she's decided to have a bowl first. England, they obviously have lost the series already 3-1 down to India, who have never won a T20 series over in England before, so have already made history there. England today looking to try and play for a bit of pride and proof that the new regime under Charlotte Edwards is working. Obviously, they've got an ODI World Cup later on in the year against India, so this has been their toughest test so far of the summer after they dominated against the West Indies. It's an absolutely glorious evening here in Edgbaston. So it's England who have won the toss and decided to have a bowl first.
Georgie, thank you very much. And Georgie will be keeping us updated on everything that goes on at Edgbaston. OK, now, Jack Grealish and Pep Guardiola are both in attendance at Heath Park, Manchester yesterday for Oasis' homecoming gig. Grealish caught up with some City fans and professed his love for the club.
I watched every trophy list on the shovel. I was there for every single one. Pleasure meeting you, brother.
You know what, bro? I love City more than anything.
I love City more than anything.
And do you know what I love more than anything?
And me and my
City fans. Bro, the best fans in the world.
Jack Grealish there. Social media. He was at the Oasis gig yesterday at Heath Park. Look, what next for Jack? Because he's had a brilliant league. He's won everything, right? Right. It's been a successful time at City, but yes, it would appear the fact that he didn't go to the Club World Cup over in the States, that his career at City is coming to an end. Yep. What next for him? I know it's difficult to say what club, but what? How does this look for Jack? Because the World Cup coming up, right?
Yeah, listen, first, he does need to leave. Second, you know what makes you laugh? Even the statement that, you know what, he was at the Oasis and Pep, but not together. I can't remember. Can you remember a time you went out with your football manager? No. Like, so, brother, even if they was in the same place, he wouldn't want to see his manager anyway. No. Like, so I know people want to, they've gone different directions. Of course he wants to stay because Man City, it's Pep and chances of winning stuff. But I think there's two elements to this, right? I think it's been successful. I think his trophy cabinet is a very good haul, and he can turn around and say what he's learned and who he's played with. I do think sometimes when you go to a place where, and I think his games, at certain elements, he sacrificed his game for the greater good of the team. I think at Aston Villa, it was on him, so he can do more. And then when you go and you've got KDB, Silva, Haaland, I think you've got players that you don't have to do more, so you actually just fit in. And I think that's taken away from his game. I think he needs to go to somewhere where I think, one, the more impetus is on him, so it comes with more responsibility. And two, which is the most important, he needs to go and play, you know. So I do think he needs to go. I do think that even that, we saw the clip and you can't help but, for me, I smiled, I laughed, and I think he's
a lovable boy.
But see, and this is the thing, right? I think his lifestyle, I think the way he lives his life to a degree makes us, I won't say we don't take him serious, but straight away we laughed. It was like, listen, he's harmful. He seems like he's about good vibes, which is good. I don't knock that. I just think that when you're where he's at now with the elite, when it doesn't go right, then that's the problem. And I think that's what's caught up with him. I think, and for me, I'm very much for, listen, it's a balance. Go enjoy. I think football's stressful, and I didn't even get to the elite level that he's at with all the eyes. I think have a balance, enjoy, but I do think what he's outside sort of habits, it does play a part in the reason why in certain elements he's not taken serious.
So what does that club look like for him? Who, you know, when you go from City, you're probably going to go backwards, right? Right. I mean, where they've been in the last X amount of years. I know they had a disappointing season last year, but what does it look like, that club? I mean, for me, it does feel like a Spurs, that level up. You know, could he go back to Villa?
To be fair, I think you know what I think. I think him going back to Villa under Emery helps, because I do think he needs and I won't say disciplinarian because Pep's that way, but I do think maybe going back there where he feels like the responsibilities on him, so that balance. But I think Villa would look good for him. You know, I think it's that Spurs, Villa. To be fair, even he'll play at Forest. You know, there's elements now where, you know, but again, he just needs to go and play football.
With the World Cup coming up as well, and his game, when I saw him at Villa, there was a free spirit.
Yeah.
He was a little bit like a street football, the way, a bit like a Gaza, where they does things almost second nature to him.
Yes.
Because he's a lovely footballer to watch, but it does feel as though Pepper's taken that part of his game away from him a little bit.
Yeah, I agree, but I think that to be able to go into the function of what City was, I think he had to go in and do that job. Yeah, he had to go in and do that job. So whereas I think Aston Villa, when he was at Villa, it was a free-flowing team and the team was played for him, and we said this about balance. I think City's not for him, City's for City, and the players have to play to City's formation, whereas I think the formation was playing to Jack Grealish at Villa. And I think it's that balance. You need a manager that's like, okay, I know you're a maverick. I know there's certain things you can do, and that's what we're going to double down on. And we're going to try and keep saying, build a team around you. I don't know if it's as much that way.
No,
if you know
I
what
do
mean.
hear what you're saying.
But
yes.
that's what I think. That's what I think he needs to go to get back to that. And we will say it. But why are you? But take risks. You was taking risks at Villa. Now at thing is like you just want to have ball completion or you don't want to mess up. But take risk, and I think that's what Grealish's whole energy is a maverick. So that's what I think he needs.
I just wonder. There's not been a lot of rumours actually about where he might go. It's been quiet.
Yeah,
I thought there may well have been. I know the window's there's still plenty of it now, and maybe over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, we'll find out a little bit more about where he might end up. Watch this space. Just so you know, England have come out for the second innings at Lords. They've scored 2 runs so far. Sam Allardyce will keep us updated. It looks like they may well be leaving the field of play, but we'll go back to Sam if anything else changes. Next up, though, we're going to be talking Crystal Palace. They were kicked out of the Europa League. Steve Parish had his save. Very vocal about it. I feel for Paris, but we're going to be speaking to a supporter of Crystal Palace in the next section and finding out how damaging this potentially could be for Crystal Palace. 03717 22 3344. Adebayo, Akinfenwa, me, Jason Kelly. This is Kickoff on talkSPORT. talkSPORT. It's Stumps at Lords. Let's go back and speak to Sam Allard. Just the 2 runs, Sam, they survived.
Yeah, they survived. They only had to survive 1 over in the end. That was a little bit of needle at the end of the day's play. Bit of housery from the England batsmen. Who can blame them, by the way? England went out there about 6:24, so with 6 minutes remaining in the day. And the England openers wanted to make sure they were only going to face 1 over. A little bit of time wasting. Crawley called for the physio. The Indian fielders knew what they were doing. A little bit of needle, a little bit of chat out there. But England get to the close 2 without loss. The day started with India 145 for 3. They frustrated England for the first 2 sessions. England picking up only 2 wickets in those sessions. The morning session, Rishabh Pant was run out for 74 brilliantly by Ben Stokes. Final ball of the morning session. In the afternoon session, the wicket to fall was KR Rahul. After, though, he got to a 10th Test match 100. He got to 100, then he had Shoaib Bashir to Harry Brook. England, though, fought back well late on in the day from 248 for 3. They ended up being bowled out for 387. England very impressive in the evening session to the tail. India bowled out for exactly 387, which means after pretty much 3 days of cricket, the scores were exactly level, and then there was that final over where England got to the close 2 without loss. So when we resume tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, Crawley and Duckett will come out with the score at 2 without loss and leading by those 2 runs.
Sam, brilliant stuff. Get yourself home safe and sound. And, of course, that test resumes tomorrow. We're getting all the updates live here on talkSPORT. Now let's turn our attention to Crystal Palace. They've been kicked out of the Europa League. Steve Parish done an interview with Sky. Some pretty stern words. Supporters of all clubs, he said, should be devastated for us. This is the dream. You win a cup. Actually win something for the first time in your history. As everyone knows, neither John nor anyone at Eagle Football didn't have a decisive influence over Crystal Palace. We're not a multi-club organisation. And he goes on to say that we stood on a platform supporting smaller clubs. We stood together the Super League because I wanted to maintain the dream. I didn't want a competition where clubs like us were locked out. Let's get a Crystal Palace's fans' perspective on that. Like I say, joining us now from the back of this podcast, it's Patrick O'Connor in New York. Patrick, good afternoon or good evening here. And what is it? What time is it over there, Pat?
1:30 in the afternoon.
1:30. Well, good afternoon to you there. Pat, this has been going on for quite some time. Leon, who were demoted to League 2, then got reinstated to League 1, and that was a bit of a turning point. John Textor had, he's caused a few problems for both clubs, actually. What's your reaction to the news that Crystal Palace have been kicked out of the Europa League?
As Steve Parish said, it's very disappointing. I've been a supporter since the early 70s, and my only dream, Jason and Bayo, was to win an FA Cup, and we won that. And on sporting merit, we should be in the Europa League. And to get kicked out based on an arbitrary March 1st date is very frustrating. I get that people want to say we broke the rules and we're part of a multi-club organisation, but John Textor doesn't have any influence over what Palace do. Everyone that follows Palace knows it's all Steve Parish. And the irony is that Texas now sold these shares and it's owned by Woody Johnson, so he's not even part of the club anymore. So I'm not really sure, it's very frustrating. For we base things on sporting merit, and to be kicked out of a competition based on a March 1st deadline is very frustrating. It really is.
So where do you think Palace goes from here? I mean, do you feel like it'll be a knock-on effect for next season? I mean, just from the supporters, where do you think Palace goes from here?
It's difficult, Bale, because obviously Europa League means that certain players may want to both stay at Palace and obviously may want to come to Palace. Conference League means that's not really going to be the case as much. So it's tough. You can already see by the fact we keep being demoted, or just the whole thing with Europa League, is that we've already had a very slow transfer window. We've got a new goalkeeper, a new left wing back option, but a lot of news going around about Eze, who I know you know, Bayo, and obviously on Mark Gehi leaving. So my concern is that players may not want to stay because of the whole thing going on. What's going to happen with, as far as the club, we're going to fight it. We're going to go to CAS or whatever. We're going to try and fight it because, again, on merit, we deserve to be in the Europa League. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Look, I have every sympathy with you and Crystal Palace, and it does feel this is a bit of an injustice. However, you can't look back and say that maybe they dropped the ball on this one. Maybe they should have foreseen that this potentially could be coming around the corner. Maybe someone should have had this conversation back in February, when things started to happen in the FA Cup. And I just wonder how you feel about that internally. Yeah, there's an injustice. I hear you. But the reality is that you put yourself in this position, haven't you?
But have we, Jay? So again, I told you I live in America, but I fly over at least 3 times a year to watch Palace play. On that deadline day, March 1st, I was in England. I was at the cup game versus Millwall. That was the 5th round. Okay, no one thought in the 5th round we were going to go on then to beat Fulham in the quarterfinal, Villa in the semi-final, and then City in the final. I get what you're trying to say, Jace, but there's absolutely no way before March 1st we could have ever thought that we were going to win the cup.
But yeah. Okay, fine, right? But I know, but you did, and and then, but you did win the FA Cup, and you know that March the 1st went and and this is where you are.
And I don't like to agree with JC at all. You know that, but. And you know what I'm saying? Eze's my guy. So for me, it was such a beautiful, and I'm not a Crystal Palace supporter, but it's my local club. So I'm with you in regards to just the whole fairy tale was beautiful. But again, so then when you strip it away, if we try and take the emotions out of it, which because we don't have a horse in this race, we can take the emotion out of it in regards to say, well, when you strip it away, somebody at the club may or should have had the foresight to say, well, you know what, boy, in this FA Cup, it's the magic. Something could happen. So now at this point now, of course, we all come and say, nah, man, they've done it. They've done the hard work. But because nobody at the club had the foresight to say, what if, now it's that, okay, well, boy, now we got to look internally. And I'm with you, but just playing devil's advocate in this part now.
I get that. But again, it's based on the fact that there's a belief that John Textor, who, by the way, when he bought Palace, didn't own Lyon, didn't own Molenbeek, and did not own Botafogo. He bought those clubs after he bought into Palace. It's based on the fact that they claim that he had decisive influence on Palace. Yes, he owns 42% of the club, or owned, by the way, because he's gone now. But he only had a 25% say. And every decision, I'm sure you guys both know, is all about Steve Parish and when he was here, Dougie Freeman. John Textor does not make any decisions. He said that before March 1st. He said that after March 1st. I'm sure you guys saw the Jim White, Simon Jordan interview. He said he doesn't make decisions. He's actually frustrated because he does make decisions. So I know what you guys are saying, and I get the technicality of having the foresight, Bayo. I get that part. But again, if it's based on him having influence and he doesn't, the argument doesn't fly with me because he shouldn't have been a part of the conversation, is what I'm saying.
No, I hear you. You mentioned there about John Textor. He joined White and Jordan before the Verdi. He had this to say about Steve Parish's ambition.
No, I think his ambition every year is to avoid relegation. Our ambition is to climb the table.
There you go. That was him. I thought a little bit
short and sweet. Right to the point.
Short and sweet. Pat, the situation that he's found himself in. Here's my... If you have multi-club ownership, right, this situation, for me, was inevitable. This was always going to happen at some stage. And I think if you allow multi-club ownership or allow individuals or whether it corporate groups to have a controlling say or certainly a share in a football club, I think they should allow that to happen. But it is what it is. They do allow multi-club ownership. And now, for me, and I agree with you, Pat, I think Crystal Palace should be in the Europa League. But there's technicalities here. And I don't know where we go. I don't know where this multi-club ownership thing goes because Manchester United had a similar problem, potentially, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Chelsea had a similar problem with Strasbourg, with the ownership that own Chelsea now. So it was inevitable, wasn't it? Something like this was going to happen.
I agree with you, but let me ask both of you this question. If this was Man United or Chelsea, does this happen to them, you think, honestly?
Chelsea, because Chelsea's not big, but no, I'm playing. No.
Oh.
I'm playing. I needed to get that in. But no, I just want to... Listen, I agree with you on that. I do think that the element of the club plays a part, and I really do. And I think on that basis, that's why even more people sympathise, because we're like, look, the underdogs went on and achieved. So I'm totally with you. And even when I'm hearing in regards to, I actually think the club you own first should kind of carry more weight. So if he owned Crystal Palace before the other clubs, then that should actually come into, and I know that it's because Leon finished higher. I think actually, no, you should look deeper than that. And if he owned Palace before, then that should carry a little bit more weight than the others. So that's an element now which I'm hearing today. But listen, to your point, I do think it's sometimes the status of the club, which unfortunately is not good. And that's, I guess, another reason why we love the FA Cup, because we keep saying the magic of the FA Cup. And this season was the definition and the pinnacle of the magic of the FA Cup. And then for the Crystal Palace to not get the just rewards, you know what I'm saying, it's not a nice end to the story. But I'm with JC. Where then do you go? Because I mean, technicalities are there for technicality's sake. You know, when you kind of read the print, as much as it's not right in our opinions, where do you go from here?
Listen, I understand what you're saying, and again, Textor was in the wrong as far as like he did own Lyon, and it came out like this. But like I said, Parrish is the one that's made the decision, and it's frustrating. And that's the part that frustrates me as just a regular fan. Just want my team to do well on the pitch, progress, do well. I mean, I thought the Textor comment was actually kind of funny about only wanting to stay up, because honestly, if you've been a Palace fan as long as I've been, that's what we used to do in the past: get promoted, get relegated. So this stretch right here is the best we've ever been. Topped off with an FA Cup win. You know, I mean, it's as good as it gets. That's why not getting into Europa League is going to be so frustrating. But again, we will take it to CAS or to Sheffield or to UEFA, whoever that may be, to obviously, for me, right the wrong. But I will say again, that March 1st thing, I get what everyone's saying. They want to get caught on that. But you have to go deeper again into the fact that, was Textor really making a decision at Palace so that he could influence? Because the whole point of multi-club issue is that if, for instance, if I own Man United and Man United and another club, then if they play each other, you know, can I influence, you know, who wins, who loses in their fixture? There's another club with Chelsea, Strasbourg kind of thing. With Paris and Lyon, again, Textor doesn't make any decisions. And by the way, he's also not even making decisions at Lyon anymore, because he gave that up too. So for me, common sense says at this point, you have no Textor at Palace, you have no Textor at Lyon. We're dealing about a March 1st date, which is again, which is arbitrary. But by the way, did you guys hear they changed the date for next season again already? They moved the date again back to June. So what are we talking about here? UEFA does whatever they want to do. It just hurts as a Palace fan. It really does.
Yeah, I hear that. Pat, I feel your pain, buddy. You take care. Good luck. Have a good summer.
I appreciate both of you. Take care,
man. Take care, bud. There he is, Patrick, the Spurs fan from the Back of the Nest podcast there, talking about that situation.
Palace fan.
What did I say?
Spurs.
Did I?
Yeah, don't
I never said Spurs.
Yeah, so I got your back, man.
Did I say Spurs?
Yeah, you said Spurs, man. And you know,
Did I?
Yeah, man.
Do you know what? I'd have stood up in a court of law, right? And I'd have said, you just
swear down.
I don't know. I said Spurs.
Oh yeah, you said the Spurs fan. Yeah.
So sorry, Pat. That must hurt. There's been a wicket in the fifth. In fact, there's been two in the fifth T20 between England and India. Georgia Heath is at Edgbaston. Georgia.
Dream start this for England. They've got India 20 for 2 after putting them into bat. M. Arlott striking in the very first over to get rid of the dangerous Smriti Mandana. And then Lindsay Smith brought into the team today, bowling the dangerous Jemmy Rodriguez for just 1. So India struggling up the top here. They're 20 for 2 at a glorious sun-baked Edgbaston.
Georgie, thank you very much indeed. And she'll be keeping us updated that all goes on at Edgbaston. England have come out the traps and started very well against India. Good evening. You are listening to Kick Off here on talkSPORT. Adebayo, Akinfenwa, me, Jason Cundy. We're going to be taking calls on Crystal Palace and Forest next. You can now download the latest podcast from talkSPORT's After Lights Go Out series, featuring former Newcastle and Sunderland striker Michael Chopra. The dominant theme of the interview is his battle with chronic gambling addiction, which led him into serious debt. Here he tells Leon McKenzie and Steve Harmison about a particular low point when gangsters showed up at the Ipswich Town training ground demanding money.
No, I just said
I was getting text messages in the morning saying we'd come to the training ground, so when I'm training, I'm looking about. I can't focus, do you know what I mean? There was a guy standing there pretending to get an autograph, and he was telling me, listen, you better get in the club and sort that money out now. Yet in the training ground car park, there was a car full of people that were waiting, do you know what I mean, sort of thing. So I used to go to bed at night. I used to have like chairs pushed up against the door so nobody could get in. If people did get in, then I was sleeping, had like kitchen knives by the side of my bed and that sort of thing. It was talking about my worst experiences and hitting rock bottom. That was probably it.
Hard-hitting interview there, no doubt about it. A reminder, the full After Lights Go Out interview with Michael Chopra is available now from your favourite podcast provider, along with all the other podcasts from the series, including those feature Carl Frampton, James Haskell and Marcus Stewart. OK, let's go to the lines. Let's go and speak to a couple of Forest fans. Let's go and speak to Danny. You all right, Danny boy?
How are you guys? All right?
I'm all right,
what's
matey.
going on, Danny?
I'm all right. So there's you Forest, there's a couple of things going on. One, there's a chance you could get promoted to the Europa League.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about the Crystal Palace situation?
Well, first and foremost, I just listened to Pat, and I've got a couple of mates as Crystal Palace fans. My heart goes out to them. What they achieved last season was exactly, I think one of you two described it as a fairy tale, and it was fantastic what they achieved. And with that comes the Europa. However, rules are rules, and no matter what I think, you think, UEFA have made a decision, and they've been demoted to the conference, and Forest, and let me just put in there, whoever was seventh, whether that be Chelsea, Villa, Forest, it wouldn't matter, of them being promoted into the Europa. So that's the first thing. How we did that, and what I mean by this is Marinakis sending that letter accused by the Tottenham fan of being a snitch. But that was wrong in a lot of Forest fans' views, right? But having said that, we are talking about an owner that would fight to the death for anything involving one of his clubs. Now, that same guy that rang up Reed Tottenham was talking about... we're saying about the, with Snitch and Cloughie FC and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into that because that's childish. But what I would say is they've been crying out for a CEO stroke owner that would care more about their side for X amount of years. Now, we've got one of those owners, those people that care about the club, and he will do anything for that club. Now, first and foremost, with the Crystal Palace, I don't agree with it, but there's no club would say no to it, that decision having been made. Because somebody coming to the club is going to go to a Europa before he goes to a conference if everything is exactly the same in the contract. Agreed?
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, so that's that one. So I do regret what happened to Crystal Palace. That's the first and foremost. In respect of the Tottenham, the Gibbs White and the Forest involvement, I think from a Forest point of view, that came out of the blue, first and foremost. That was, we expected to lose Morgan Gibbs White early doors to Man City. That was the big chat, early doors. He was one of the sort of stone bonkers. He was going to Man City. They were talking about 80 to 90, the price tag put on him. And that was, like we've all discussed and I've been listening to yourselves talking about, potentially that was sort of gettable, if you like. Out of the blue, Ilanga went to Newcastle. They were sniffing around him last season. He subsequently went out of the blue and got it to lose him, but nonetheless, that's football. And then, literally, a couple of nights ago, Morgan Gibbs-White, the following day, it was released, I think, by talkSPORT, that Morgan Gibbs-White was going for a medical with a £60 million buyout clause activated by Tottenham.
Yep.
Now, the issue with that straight away is nobody outside Morgan Gibbs-White, Nottingham Forest hierarchy, and his agent knew about that buyout clause. Because if anybody knew about it, Man City would have known about it, trust me.
Yeah.
So that was the sort of, wow, where did this come from? Now, that stinks. And I don't care if that was for example, Palmer with Chelsea, Liverpool, if it was one of your fantastic players there as well, of which you've got many. But what I'm saying is, if that came out, you cannot tell me the fans and the club aren't going to be upset. Now, this is the problem. I think it's not the fact that the contract said 60 million. It's the fact that it's been released and according to the agent that you spoke to earlier this morning, the fact that the agent said that any contact should first be made with the club. And I think that's the problem from a Forest point of view. And that's why Marinakis is talking about suing, taking them to court, etc., etc., etc. So they're the things that I think from a Forest point of view, not happy with the 7-second interaction with Marinakis going onto the pitch, which wasn't nice. It's not good publicity for a Forest club. Then the letter in respect to the Europa and Conference issue. But like you said, and a number of other people have said, if there is a set of rules in place, stick to them. And it's irrelevant when you're looking in, say, controlling part and not making decisions. It's made on black and white, unfortunately. And I think they're the things that we should be agreeing to. And like I say, just to end up with, that thing with the Forest, we've got an owner that is committed to Forest.
No, but you're slightly naive, I think, Danny.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
I think you're naive to think, where's your beef? Your beef is that the information come out.
No, the beef is that, I mean, let's be honest. Morgan Gibbs-White isn't going to play for Forest again, right?
No, but where's your beef, though?
That's what, because I thought, sorry, JC, so everything you said, for me, I'm totally with you. Even when you're saying if it was Palmer, if it was Salah, so I'm totally with you. But JC says it, I'm like, you can't be thinking this utopia world that people don't have a conversation.
No, I get that.
So what I'm trying to say is here. So even that. So let's say Gibbs-White at the end of the season, he was like, "Look, I'm going to go City," and that's what he's had. He said, "Look, I've give what I've give, and I'm ready to move on." So at that point, right, it was City's got money. His agent, he could have sat down with his agent and just said, "City's already come and contacted and put a figure on the table." Right? So then it hasn't manifested or whatever.
But they didn't,
Yeah, so it didn't manifest. But there's nothing wrong with Gibbs-White's representative being like, well, look, he signed a contract. Because it keeps coming back to, and we said the foresight, you're saying rules are rules. It was Forest that put the 60 million.
I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that.
So that's what I'm saying. So where's the beef in regards to...
The beef is the fact that if you're looking at, you said yourself, and I think the agent said it as well, is the fact that was put on the early stages. And don't get me wrong, Forest have been naive not to clamp him down to a better contract and, if you like, a better buyout clause. I get all of that, but the reality is it's the approach that I think Forest is annoyed with.
No, but honestly, it does. I find it ever so hypocritical of football clubs that come out and make these stances, right? Because let me tell you now, it's been going on since day dot in football, and it will continue. People talk, people make illegal approaches.
When it's your club,
no, but it happens every year.
Yeah, no, I get that. That I totally understand but what I'm just trying to say is, you know, after, of course, it's emotion, and I don't care what anybody says. The same when I talk about Liverpool, same when you talk about Forest, same when he talks about Chelsea, you know, but it happens. Forest, I'm telling you, don't even let me say that, but Forest would have done this in the past. I'm just saying that.
Oi, you know that, right? You know that. And that's the thing. I hear what you're saying, Danny. Thanks for the call, Danny. I hear how frustrated he is.
Yeah,
But do you know what? There would have been a time that Forest done exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
In fact, owners come out and they, point fingers. And, come on, we're not stupid. Thanks for the call. Keep them coming. 03717 2233 It's kick-off. Me, Jason, Cundy and Bayo. Akinfenwa live here on talkSPORT. Good evening, you're listening to Kick Off here on talkSPORT. I'm Jason Cundy. Alongside me is I didn't write this, is the denchest man in football. Dentist. Dench, yeah.
Dench. That was, lethal.
Adebayo Akinfenwa.
Yeah.
You must work out every day, right?
No, not every day. I'm on a bike most days.
Are you?
Yeah, I've got, but when you retire, I'll be eating. But hey,
you've got a big appetite.
Hey, yeah, I'll be eating.
You look like you could have a big appetite.
Which I'm saying, but yeah, so I've got to try and see. I've got to get on that bike.
Yeah, got to just. I know, mate. I know.
You know them ones. Yeah.
Fight night follows us. That's from 8 o'clock. Adam Cattrall and Gareth A. Davis. 1 week to go until Usyk Dubois 2. But before that, Bayo and I'll be discussing our favourite Brazilian players. That's because I'm hoping to watch João Pedro fight Chelsea to Club World Cup glory tomorrow evening live on talkSPORT against PSG. Plus, Bayo's a mystery guest for me, one of his star-studded ex-teammates even. And there's news of a significant injury at Manchester United. They could be signing a new keeper as a result. This is Kickoff live here on talkSPORT. Let's go to the lines. Because the conversation we had. Let's go to team news. By the way, there's 2 final games tonight in the Women's Euros. Let's get some team news now for one of those games. Sweden versus Germany with talkSPORT's Emily Herbert. Emily.
Yes, both sides are already through to the knockout rounds in the Euros after winning their opening 2 games, but top spot in Group C is still up for grabs. Germany and Sweden level on 6 points. A draw would be enough for Sweden to finish top on goal difference, while Germany need a win. Sweden make 5 changes. Captain Kosovare Asllani returns to the number 10 role, and Arsenal's Stina Blackstenius leads the line. As for the 8-time Euros winners Germany, they make just the 1 change. Laura Freigang comes in for Bayern Munich's Linda Daumann, who drops to the bench.
Thank you very much, Emily. Now Poland face Denmark in the same group. Watching for talkSPORT. It's the Moosey.
And both these sides are eliminated already, Jason, so just playing for pride tonight in Lucerne. Denmark are unchanged, so Karen and Sarah Holmgaard, who both played for Everton last season, are in the midfield. Pernilla Harder, formerly of Chelsea, leads the line. As for Poland, 3 changes for them, but not in goal, where Szymek of West Ham retains her place. It's Poland against Denmark in Lucerne from 8 o'clock.
UEFA Women's Euro 2025 lineup report on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The new Big Arch is here. Available from 11 a.m. at participating restaurants.
OK, let's talk. We're talking Crystal Palace and Forest, intrinsically linked at the moment for various different reasons, as are Spurs. Just going to speak to Neil, a Nottingham Forest fan. Neil, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks a lot for having me on. Love the show.
Thank you very much, bud. What do you want to say?
You asked the previous caller, Danny, what is his beef with the... I'm a Forest fan, by the way, with the Morgan Gibbs White situation. I'll tell you what the beef is. It's very simple. There was a confidentiality clause that nobody knew about. You know, your radio station did not know about it. Fabrizio did not know. No one knew about it. All of a sudden, Tottenham have bid 60 million and he's going for his medical before Forest have even reacted. So my beef is with the player and the player's agent because they have leaked that information between them. Okay.
So
in
what?
The business world.
So what?
No, that's inside. That's inside the.
No, it's not. Come on. Neil, listen to yourself, matey. Come on.
Your agent just came on an hour ago. Sky, I think his name, said the player's worth 100 million. Okay.
Yep.
They're getting him for 60. No, I don't think he's worth 100. I think he's worth 75, 80. But they're getting him for less than he's worth. He will financially gain from that. The agent will financially gain from that.
You're financially gaining from it as well. Would you pay for him?
No, but we're not getting what the player's worth.
Well,
right?
but then who put who set the... Sorry, brother. Go on.
In the business world, if you have inside information and you leak it and you use it to your own financial benefit, it ends up with a custodial penalty.
Neil, come on, mate.
No, come on. Nobody knew about it. Man City last month were bidding 70 million for him, or at least discussing in that region. If they bid 70 million and we accepted the deal, it doesn't mean it goes back to 60. It means we've agreed on 70. Yeah?
Right. Yeah, that's right. But 60 million gets people to the table.
By the only people that knew that they can get him to 60, which is less than he's worth, and they've acted on it. And I haven't got a problem with Tottenham. I would do the same. But the people that tipped him off are going to financially benefit from that.
Everyone's benefiting. Yeah, but everybody's benefiting. So everybody's benefiting.
But the agent will get 2 million. Morgan Gibbs White would double his salary. But that's illegal. They had inside. They haven't done anything clever there. All they've done is been dishonest and disingenuous.
No, but then
in the business world, they go to prison for that. I don't understand. What am I missing here?
No,
yes, Forest benefit, but they don't get 70 million. They get 60.
Okay.
Yes, Tottenham benefit. They get a fantastic player.
Okay.
Yes, Gibbs White benefits. Tuchel will pick him because suddenly he's in a big club. Not that he's playing any better. But the agent here, for me, is at the heart of this.
We don't know that.
Yeah, because this is what it is. So let me ask you a question. How many people were in the room when they signed the contract?
I've got no idea. I'm not in the football world.
And this is what
the player's agent.
So what I'm saying is, so what you're doing now, you're speculating in regards to, who was leaked. So there could have been a whole plethora of people in the
correct.
So and again, this is what I want to land on your point, because I understand what you're saying. So in essence, you're like, look, but if I was given this information, I would act on this information. But your beef is the information got leaked, right? And again, correct. So I'm totally hearing that, but you still, again, it still comes back to the fact where, so regardless of what you're saying now, when they did that contract, that was what he was worth, or that's what they thought he was going to be.
Well, no, listen, I've got a problem with the release clause in itself. You don't pay 25 plus 17 for a player and give him a 60 million release clause. That's absolutely stupid.
Well, that's how you got to take up with Forest, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but so you're beefing everybody here. So
no, I haven't. Nobody knew about it. City were on the phone talking 70, 75 million. Decided to go.
I don't get right. No, I get that. I understand that City didn't know. So City came in and said, "We'll bid 75 million." I'm not knocking that. Yeah. I'm not knocking that. It didn't manifest. So for some reason they had 75 and it didn't manifest. So that deal's gone.
Right.
So I'm not knocking that. Just like. You said you think he's 75. Sky thinks he's 100. We may think he's 90. People will kind of say whatever they think.
Someone has passed that information on, and I think Marinakis, who puts a lot of money into his football club, and he gets a lot of stick, but he puts so much of his own money into this football club. He is well within his rights to say, right, hold on, everyone stop a minute. Who leaked that information? Did it get leaked? And if so, who did?
No, he could, though.
I don't know. Neil, you can't go suing clubs for this.
No, he can't, he's not sued anyone yet. He hasn't.
No, I know,
all
but that's
he's pulled a pause, and he's saying, right, let's have a look at this, because something smells here.
Well,
it smells a lot.
What's the point of the release clause? If
that's
someone doesn't know about it,
I'm trying to figure out that. That's what I'm trying to get that whole point.
I'll tell you what it is. So it's confidential, right?
Right.
So if a bid comes in for more than 60, you have to...
I don't know whether it is confidential. Let me ask you this, right?
Yeah, why would it be confidential? I'm sorry, that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. Why is it confidential?
Well, I don't... Listen, we haven't seen the contract, right?
But why is a release clause confidential?
Why wouldn't it be?
What's the point of it then?
You've come on saying...
I'm not going to tell you how much I earn. I'm not going to tell you how much
No, but that's a release clause. You're not saying how much you earn, but you're putting in a contract what it would take to get you out the contract.
You've signed a contract and you've said to Morgan...
Yeah, but there's a release clause in the contract. So again, this is what I keep coming back to. So
if someone comes in for a bid more than 60, we'll have to give you permission to speak to them if you want to, right?
Okay.
Doesn't mean they have to bid 60. They can bid 70.
No.
And then we say, okay, fine, you can speak to the player.
But
someone has told them they only need to bid 60. They were going to bid... Clubs were bidding more than 60. And as a result of this deal going through, two people financially benefit. Yeah, and it's fraud. It is fraud.
It's not, Neil. It's not, mate. Look, Forest have put a £60 million release clause in there. They've met it. Deal with it. It's just, I honestly don't understand how you're getting so angry over it.
I'm not angry.
Well, frustrated.
I'm annoyed that everyone's throwing stones at us.
No one's throwing stones.
Investigate this, because someone is going to financially benefit from this, and that's wrong.
But
they haven't done anything clever. All they've done is they've had information and they passed it on.
Neil, come on, mate. Live in the real world.
But the information was right, though, yeah? Correct?
No.
The information was right.
Probably, but it's...
So I'm trying to get... So, again, you're saying everybody's benefiting, but, again, that was the starting point, right? That was not even the starting point. That was the point to get them out. So the figure was the point to get them out. So, and again, you keep standing on, if they beat 75. Yeah, they bid 75, but 60 would get him out. That's what I'm saying.
They didn't know that. They would have been 70.
But he's camped it. Okay.
And so the agent... No, listen, you're missing the point completely. The agent has made a 10 million profit to Tottenham, right? So the Tottenham might give the agent 5 million.
Yeah.
How is that fair?
Okay.
How is that honest?
We don't. We're really speculating here about how this gets carved up.
But all Marinakis is doing is pausing and saying, right, let's look at this because something smells. That's all.
Well, there's a release clause in there. I honestly don't have a... You're saying it's confidential. Why? It's his
Yeah,
contract.
that's the first time I've ever
it's
heard.
his contract.
That's the first time I've ever
He
heard.
can talk about it. If he wants to come on talkSPORT now and phone up and say, I've got a release clause of 60 million, what's wrong with that?
Nobody's ever said... So our contracts, our contracts is our contracts.
But what's the point of a legal contract? And you've got confidentiality clause.
How do you know it's confidential? What?
But it's his contract, right? So he won't sign his contract and then they say you can't speak about your contract ever. This is his contract.
Correct.
But
Correct.
what?
It's his contract.
It's his contract.
You're paid a lot of money not to speak to people.
No, it doesn't work like that. It don't. Well, look, I know I'm EFL, but it didn't work like that in EFL, brother. I'm just letting you know.
Listen, let's agree to disagree. Right?
No, I hear you, brother. I hear the frustration because he's your player.
No, I get it.
No, I get it. Don't listen. Don't let me sound like I'm dismissing. I hear the frustration. No, I truly do. Because you're like, look, man, you feel like he's worth, and I agree, I think he's worth more than 60 million. But it comes back down to the point where I'm like, well, the release clause is 60 million. So that's the figure they put in. So I'd say that's the figure.
I haven't seen it. Someone has told you that.
Yeah.
You know, if in the business world, if a company is about to make a big acquisition and I find out about it the day before and I buy shares in that company and suddenly the next day they make the acquisition and the company doubles in value, I've made a massive gain. But I've made it by not being clever, by having inside information. That is a financial crime.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. No, listen. We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, keep the calls coming again. 03717 223344. Georgia Heath is at Edgbaston watching England take on India. Georgia, there's been another wicket.
There has indeed. India currently 85 for 3, just coming towards the end of the 10th over. Shafali Verma absolutely smashed a 23-ball 50, but the captain Harmanpreet Kaur has just been sent on her way by Charlie Dean. The two of them were absolutely racing along, so just put the stoppers on it slightly here, England, because this could be a massive total. 10 overs gone here at Edgbaston. India 86 for 3.
Georgia, I do apologise. I've been calling you Georgia. I've got a Georgia as a friend, so I do apologise.
It's all right. I like to think it means I'm your friend then.
Georgia Heath there, thank you very much indeed. Keep the calls coming again. 03717 223344. Good evening, you are listening to Kick-Off. Adebayo, Akinfenwa, me, Jason Cundy. We're talking Crystal Palace, talking Forest as well. There's the lines have lit up. Let's go and speak to Peter, who's a Forest fan, who wants to have his say as well. Good evening, Pete.
Good evening, guys.
Hey, what's going on, Peter?
Hi, good evening. I'm just ringing this. I'm only a quick one. On the Gibbs-White thing, I'm not going to mention that. It's the Palace I'm going to mention. But on the Gibbs-White thing, I've been informed, quite reliable information, that there was an NDA on that release clause. And we all know that if an NDA is broken, it ends up in court. So that's something to think about if there was. But I
don't know how that works. I just don't know how that can work.
Well, I'm just told that there was an NDA on that release figure. But
What's the point of having a release clause then, if no one knows about it?
Well, they do if they put a bid into the club and they say, no, not enough. And if the club are obliged, if they go past...
No, what about Gibbs-White? What if...
Go on.
Yeah, listen, I get it. If that's what you're saying, of course, there's an NDA. So let's just, if we're trying to be devil's advocate, so the NDA would be that they put a 60 million release clause. So if any club hits 60 million, then therefore he'll be able to have a conversation with them. I assume that would have to be it, because it has to benefit Gibbs-White in one aspect. So Forest safeguard themselves by putting a cap, or not a cap, but a minimum. And then Gibbs-White will be informed if anything 60 million. That it can only be that way then.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. But the problem I have with it is it's a fiasco. It really is, both sides of it. But my problem with that is that Levy, or whether at Tottenham, came straight in, bang on the button with that 60 million. Now, anyone with any sense would have gone 55 million, waited 2 days and gone back with the 60 million. But straight in on the button is where I find it's a bit suspicious.
No, they know it. No, I don't think anyone... Look,
yeah, I think they know it.
Yeah. We don't know about an NDA, by the way. I mean, people hear a lot of things, right? And no one knows about an NDA if that is the case. But there's a release clause. It's Gibbs-White's contract. He's signed it. If he wants to tell anyone, he can tell it. How can you have a contract? How can you not tell? It's your contract. Yeah. That's how I see it. Let's go and speak to Gaz, who's a Leeds fan. All right, Gaz?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Gaz?
I'm good. I'm phoning. I might be totally wrong. I don't know contracts, but if, say, his release clause, when he signed the contract, they put in that 60 million is his release clause. So I don't know if I'm right, but when Man City or whoever bid 75 million, they're legally allowed to say, well, it's not 60 million, so we can say yes or no. So they said no. Maybe it's even a coincidence. Tottenham might not have known, they might not have known, but say if they've seen Man City's bid 75 and they go, well, we want him, but let's not start that. Let's just put a cheeky bid in for 60, see if they accept it. If they don't, we'll start talking about 65, 70, etc. But when they put in 60 million, that is the release clause amount, and they've coincidentally just activated it. So Forest have no option other than to say yeah.
To be fair, it could be that way as well. As not as funny as that, as simply as you put it, it can. He could have said 60 million, and exactly that. 60 million gets him at the table.
Knowing football the way we do.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be. Listen, I'm just trying to be cool with regards. Yeah. We know, not saying we don't. We don't know, but.
Didn't Arsenal bid for Luis Suarez? Yeah. What, £1 above his release clause?
Above his release clause. Yeah. It's like,
it goes on.
No, listen, in the game, and you know what I'm saying, people talk. So, but I know it's cynical and sinister, some of them from front, but it actually could have been that way as well. Just
every chance we don't know.
We just don't know.
Let's go, guys. Thanks for the call, but enjoy the weather. Let's go and speak to Dave, who's a Spurs fan. All right, Dave-o?
Hiya, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Dave?
Matey?
Jolly good. Yeah, obviously, I'm just called Spurs fan. It'd be great if Spurs do pull it off. I guess I've got some sympathy for Forest, but not a great deal. I think my question is, a lot of the fans calling up and saying about, it's not right because confidence has been breached because obviously no one knew about the 60 million. But if I'm kind of, I'm just making sense of it logically. If previously Man City did come in with 75 million, how then have Man City been allowed to turn that down? If Forest have said, "Oh no, we're not going to accept that money, we want more," well, surely Nottingham Forest then are stitching over their player knowing that actually there's a 60 million release clause that they've got no right to turn down. So would that not then cause the player to hang on a minute?
Yeah.
Right, we need to start telling people what our release clause is, because we know it's there, but the club are keeping it quiet to prevent me moving on.
Well, in April, it was reported that Forest slapped £100 million valuation on Gibbs White when Man City were interested. City, we don't believe, made an offer. But they're then if there's a release clause of 60 million and publicly Forest come out and say they want 100 million, they're holding the player back.
Yeah, I agree.
They're holding the player back.
I agree with.
It's stitching him up when they know there's a release clause for less.
Yeah, that's not fair either, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Even if, and this is what I'm saying, even if, you know, they value it and they undervalued it, then really and truly what they should have done, and I think Coutinho did this when Barcelona come in, he re-signed a new contract and then went for the higher, the 100-something million. I mean, Forest then should have been like, right, look, we're just going to put you on another year. We're going to double your money or whatever. And don't jump on me for, I'm just saying this in that we'll say, look, we're going to, because we know there's interest and we know there's only 60 million there. So we're going to give you more amount of money for the next 3 months, knowing that they're willing to pay 80 million. So you're going to go from 80 million. So it comes out that. So again, that's what I'm saying. It works both ways. So I understand Forest fans' frustration. I totally do. Of course. When you're manoeuvring through, and I know that the guy before, I think Gaz or Dan came in and said it was business. That's how you would run business. That's how you would run it, to be like, okay, cool, look, everybody kind of wins. We'll pay, so we'll get a bigger fee from him. We'll give him an extra bit more money now. The club gets money, they move on, get the player. That's how I think it should work. And other than that, if he's 60 million, he's 60 million. You can't outprice somebody that you know can go for 60 million.
Well, Grealish had £100 million release clause, right? City had to meet that.
Yeah.
And they met it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they want £100 million for him, put that in the contract.
Put that in the contract. I totally agree.
Sorry, Dave, got to do his Adam was there. So let's go and speak to Adam, a Chelsea fan. All right, Ad, up the Chelsea.
Yeah, up the Chelsea. How are we doing?
Hey, what are you thinking about tomorrow night, Ad?
Well, I mean, I'm not confident, but I'm not feeling. I don't think we'll get spanked like Madrid and Inter Milan did.
I think we'll give them a game.
Ad, if you win, are you the best team in the world?
100%, mate.
Oh, gosh.
Tell me otherwise.
Bardash, I should have known. You and JC are the same. Don't worry, I'll be texting Bayo tomorrow night about 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Got you, Jake.
Go on, Ed. What do you want to say, mate?
I wanted to say a couple of things. Number one, if these Forest fans that are getting their knickers in a twist think that Forest didn't speak to Morgan Gibbs-White before they spoke to Wolves, I'm pretty sure they've got another thing coming there.
Happens.
And then the other thing is, I just don't know why. I mean, you get all of these players like Gyökeres has gone on strike. I don't know why all players don't have a release clause in their contract. And look, if their value goes up, the club has to say to them, right, listen, like you were just saying, you were 80 million and now we think you're 100 million. So here's another 30 grand a week or something. And then it just gets rid of all this and you don't have to worry about players going on strike and all of this business, you know?
Yeah, I mean, in Spain, I believe in the contract it's commonplace that they have a release clause. It's something that it's just standard. Yeah, it's not as prevalent in Premier League English football as far as I'm aware, but it safeguards. That was put in. That was an agreement between player and club when it went in. Agent Gibbs White sat down with his agent. The club sat down, and they were all happy to sign the contract. That says £60 million. That's it. You can't now start moaning.
Yeah,
you can't start complaining when the valuation's met. They might have a beef with the fact that it's been released, but that happens. I can't believe the naivety and the hypocrisy of football fans at times, because it goes on.
Yeah.
Forest, he's absolutely right. That previous call, Forest had done it. Let me tell you now. Do not be so naive to think that Forest haven't done exactly the same thing.
Do you know what? I personally think the release clause actually is cool for both parties. Yeah. It does, because I think it safeguards both parties in regards to, and exactly that. When they got Gibbs White, they was like, they got him for 25, I think, and it was like, okay, cool. Right now, at the level is, if he continues on this trajectory, we think he's going to get to a 60 million. Yeah. We'll be happy. At that point, they was happy. Then he surpassed it, came on and carried them to almost Champions League. As that point now, the hierarchy will sit down and be like, yo, Gibbs White's doing his thing. All right, big man, sit down here. Yeah, we're going to give you on right now from your next paycheck, you're going to get extra 30 grand in your a week in your paycheck. But that release clause that we had at 60 mil, has to be 90 mil.
Yes, we need to raise it.
Boom. Yeah. And so everybody, in my opinion, everybody wins. not everybody, but you know what I mean. No, so then at this point now, you then can't say, oh, well, it got leaked. Be like, of course it got leaked because it's transactional. And I know, again, look, if this was Liverpool, I'll be switching as well. Don't get the game twisted. I understand the frustration, but what we do know is that every single club in a transfer has gone through this process, and we know that. And as much as you want to think, no, we know they've gone through it, and that's my only comeback into it. So on all parties, you can be frustrated, but frustration goes all round. Yeah, the player, the agent, the club. Do you know what I mean?
I agree, you keep the calls coming, gang. 03717223344. Next up, though, we've got some news concerning Gyökeres. You heard him mention there. We'll reveal that after the break. Let's head back to Edgbaston. Georgie Heath, has been another wicket.
Yeah, it was a storming start for India, but England dragging themselves back in. India now 112 for 5. A sensational catch from Maya Bouchier to get rid of Shafali Verma, who was absolutely flying. She now goes for 75 from just 41. So India currently 112 for 5 in 13.2 overs, and England are on the fight back.
Georgie, thank you very much indeed. Now, there's been a statement, I mentioned there about Victor Gyökeres. There's been a statement from the Sporting president, Frederico Varandas. He has issued a strong statement saying to Agency Luis, that's the news source in Portugal, that Gyökeres did not report back to training as expected. He said, we're calm. Everything can be solved with the closure of the market, a heavy fine and apology to the group. If they, in brackets Arsenal, don't want to pay Victor's fair market value, we'll be very comfortable with the next 3 years. The geniuses who are devising this strategy think this puts pressure on me to make it easy for him to leave. Not only are they completely wrong, but they'll also make it more complicated for the player to leave. No one is above the interests of the club, whoever they are. So, watch that over the next 2 or 3 days, see how that one develops. Yeah, that was Sporting President Federico Varandas. What a great name that is. Basically saying to Arsenal, cough up or nothing changes. Yeah, and he hasn't reported for training. I mean, and is that going on strike? I suppose it kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that?
No, man, it was EFL, man. I couldn't afford to go on strike. Cause what would you?
No, but I'm saying to force yourself out of a club.
No, I don't think that. Look, again, everybody's situation would be different. I do think that you should be able to have a conversation, especially with the manager. And I do think, and I think the Chelsea manager said, I do think it's a bit pointless if the player's head, he doesn't want to be there anymore. I think energy is contagious, and you kind of feel that sort of thing. So I do think you should try and get to a compromise. But to be fair, he's right. Listen, if they value him high enough, pays
meet it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
He hasn't got a £60 million release clause, has he?
Yeah, well, boy, he leaked what he was on.
If there was,
the chairman leaked what he's on and said, "Listen, you better pay this figure, or you ain't getting
with £60 million a pound." Now, listen, you got a bit of a surprise for me, Bayo.
Yes.
What's the surprise?
The surprise is, look, for me, I talk about this individual. I get asked all the time, who's the best player I've ever played with? And it's the same. It's the same. I met this guy when I was 23. Yeah. And you know, the maddest thing Swansea. Yeah. If YouTube was around back then, I am telling you, this guy is he's a superstar, but he would have been a certified superstar. First thing he said to me when I saw him, I pulled up at pre-season and I came with a suitcase. He said, "Rah, bruv, what are you, Del Boy?" Because that's the first thing he said. You know how big I was? I looked at him, I said, I'm gonna like this guy. Lee Trundle, best player I've ever played with, best strike partner. Lee Trundle, where you at, my brother?
And he joins us now, Lee.
How you doing, guys? You okay?
I'm all right, matey.
How you doing, brother?
Is that right?
Good, thanks, B.
You give it. You called it. What did you say?
He said Del Boy. I had a green suitcase. I had a green. We pulled up at the army camp. I come out not 9, so they were there like a few days before me. So I'm thinking I got to bring all my stuff out. So they're walking towards me. I'll come out with my car with my suitcase and. Brother, because I think I'm an intimidating guy. First thing he said, "Hi, lad, where you at, Del Boy?" I was like, "Fanta." Then it happened, and then he was my strike partner, 9 and 10, and we caused some damage.
Yeah, we did. But at that time, I think, when new players are coming in, and especially when B comes, he's a big imposing fella, and I just think break the ice, have a little joke. This is going to be my strike partner, so let's have a bit of banter and start getting to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, man, proper man.
How are you, Lee? You're still playing, I believe, right?
Yeah, still playing, Jay. So we had a pre-season friendly today, so still playing, still enjoying it, and it's when I'm out on that pitch, that's my happiest place, mate. So I love playing, whether it's for my team now or whether that's for the veterans, which I also play in as well. So I just enjoy being out on that pitch.
Hey, Trans, how's the body, man? Like, I went out in the garden to play with the boys, but
do you know what?
Go on.
I think, as you know yourself, as you get a bit older, well, if you're one of my teammates, the lads would say I never run anyway, so that's why my legs are probably still lasting now. But, I've got young legs around me, which will go in they'll do channel runs, they do the work. I stay around the 18-yard box and they set me up and I score the goal. So, I'm pretty happy with that.
You see, this is what I learned from him. Yeah. When I left Swansea, I was like, I'm going to be like Lee. I said, I ain't running no more. I'm standing down the centre. I'm going to go score the goal. So I learned so much from this guy.
Lee, I mean, listen, you're one of those players. You're a bit of a street footballer for me. That they're naturally gifted, do things instinctively. Is that still very much part of your game? Because you try sometimes the impossible.
Yeah, but I've always played when I played, my first thing in my head was, I was just like, how fast can I get my first shot off? That's what I always used to think in a game. When I'd go out, can I get my first shot off straight away? And I will still play like that. I'll shoot from distance. I'll always check where the keeper is, where he stands in games, and I'll try different things. But that's just the way I've always enjoyed playing football. I didn't turn professional till I was 24, so I didn't have that structure where you had them coaches, trying to take that out of me. So it was I still play like I'm on the playground like a kid, and, you know, for me, that's the way I think football should be played.
So, I was going to say, so Trans, when you watch football now, because we were talking about Grealish earlier, you know, talking about I wouldn't say the Mavericks of the game, but they play football with character. Do you feel like football's changed very much from, of course, back in the day when we used to play?
100%. I think now if you look at it, everything is possession and patterns and, you know, keeping the ball and, you know, you work to a system. I don't think now there isn't really any individual players where, you know, if you look back and you look at the likes of R9, Ronaldinho, you know, even if you go to like the likes of Hazard and players, you know, there's no one that gets the ball and goes and takes people on. And as for tricks and skills, you don't really see any of that anymore. You know, it's all about possession based and how you play in a system. And for me, a lot of the time, I find it boring at times when you watch certain games. Obviously, the skill factor and the level of the talent is still up there massively, but the way I play it, I think a lot of people now don't want to take risks. I think it's about, they want to keep the ball. They'll go and look at the stats after the game, how many passes they completed and, you know, how many times did they give the ball away. Where for me, football's about freedom, going out and expressing yourself and trying to make something happen.
Lee, let me ask you about PSG, right? Because I totally agree with you. I think that the game has become robotic. I think that the likes of the Hazards, the players like you, Bale, you know, Henry, I don't think...
Akinfenwa. Sorry.
Trans, why are you laughing like that? You know, stop laughing.
No, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
But the way that PSG play now, they are different. And Luis Enrique has got them. They've got Kvaratskhelia one side. They've got Doué. They've got Bacola coming off the bench. This is a team now that play in a very different way. They have wide men that take players on. They are very well organised, very well disciplined, defensively, work hard. But when they get the ball, they throw men forward. Do you think that could there be a bit of a changing the guard, the way that PSG play now?
I think with football as well, people look at success, don't they? And they try and model that themselves. And I hope so, because I love watching PSG, the players that they've got and the flair that they've got. I just hope that can pass through, because, you know, as I've just said, it does change over the years, and we need them individual players, and, you know, that's why we watch football. And if you look at them players, they're the players that get you off your seat. And when we all watch, we want to see people doing something different to what we could do. You know, if you're a normal fan, you know, they could go over the park and play on a Sunday. They could pass it 5 yards each side. They couldn't flick it over someone's head and then nutmeg someone and then put it in the top corner. And that's what you want to watch.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I tried. Do you still set yourself goals in that? You still set yourself goals for the season?
Yeah, 100% big. I'll always, like, you know, start of the season, I was always say 20 goals is me mark to try and get. Finish with 21. Last season, so I will always go with that in my head. And, you know, assist wise, because as you say, as you get older, obviously I've got to change your game a little bit. I'm not going to be doing stuff what I was doing when I was 27. You know, I'll be 49 in October, so I've got to tailor my game a lot. But, you know, I still enjoy being out there, and I'm still scoring goals.
I love it, but 49.
Keep playing.
Keep
going as long as you can, bro. Yeah, keep going. Well, listen, just quickly, you're 48, right? You know, you're not going to play forever. What are your plans afterwards? You're going to stay in the game?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I'm club ambassador at Swansea.
Right.
I think when I finish my playing career, I would like to go into the coaching side, whether that be with, you know, the Swansea youth, whatever age I could go into, because, you know, I think, you know, when you finish football, it's great to still have a job in there. And, you know, football's been my life, so I would love to go on to the coaching side when I finish. So that is something that I would like to aim for.
Lee, you're a superstar, bud. Really appreciate your time. Good luck next season.
Thank you, Jace.
And keep playing, bud.
Love you, mate.
I'll see you soon, my brother. Chat to you in a bit, my brother.
See you, B. Bye-bye.
Lee Trundle, their former teammate of Bayo at Swansea. And by the way, what a player. Naturally gifted. You're talking about someone that's naturally gifted and does things instinctively that you can't really coach.
No, man.
Do you know what I mean? It's just that natural flair.
It's literally, I say this, and I still say this, I think 20 years on now, like, literally, he plays the game like he says it, you know what I'm saying? Just the freedom.
He's lovely to watch.
Yeah, man.
Talk about naturally gifted.
Yeah, well, you'll be watching him against your son soon, won't you? He's that old, isn't he? That man looks very, very youthful.
Doesn't he?
I'm going to get a proper job when I'm 48. 48.
This ain't a proper job.
48, that man is. That's unreal, isn't it?
That's the voice of Gareth A. Davis. How are you, sir?
Very well. It's warm out there.
Isn't it just?
It's kind of nice and cool in here.
It is nice.
Yeah, we've got some fights to talk
Fight
about
night,
tonight.
later, yeah.
Soon.
Pick up the bat in 15 minutes' time.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening, is there, coming on next couple of weeks?
No, nothing. We've got Wembley next weekend, of course, at Daniel Dubois, second time at Alexander Usyk. We're there with talkSPORT. We're there all week in the build-up. We've got a big team there. Let me ask you both. I know I'm only in for a couple of minutes. What do you think? Can Dubois do it this time?
You know what? I think he can. I think the confidence he would have got from the AJ fight. I think even the confidence he would have got from the first fight. I think he can.
He's a different. It feels as though that he has developed at quite a rate. He's gone from being. It felt like that he was one of those fighters who wasn't going to quite get there. He's gone from me thinking that to getting there in a quite short space of time.
3 fights.
Yeah.
He lost 2 years ago against Usyk. I think he's got 5 or 6 rounds to make his stamp on the great Ukrainian, and then I think Usyk will start to weave the magic wand. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight. Frank Warren's joining us, by the way. Don Charles is joining us, Dubois' coach. Anthony Yard's coming on the show. We'll look back at Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor from New York last night. Their trilogy fight, absolutely incredible. They both stood off each other for 10 rounds. Didn't have a war this time. We've got Hamza Shiraz in action tonight in New York against Edgar Berlanga. They've all been screaming at each other in New York all week.
When's Yard's fight? Sorry, when's Yard's fight?
Yard, I'm not sure. He is fighting.
He's fighting, yeah.
David Benavidez.
Yeah.
They had a press conference
I
for
see
it
that,
this week.
I see that.
I think it's November.
Okay.
My mind is escaping. I think it's November.
I see that. I see the press.
Great
press
fight.
Yes.
I favour Benavidez slightly.
Yeah,
even though I love Anthony.
I'm backing Yard,
yeah, but
man.
that's heart over head.
Yeah, still, my heart. Yard, let's go, my brother.
That's the voice of Gareth A. Davis. He picks up the bat alongside Adam Cattrall, 1 o'clock, just 1 week. So 8 o'clock, just 1 week to go until Usyk Dubois 2. We'll see you at 8 o'clock, bud.
Okay,
thanks very much. Let's head over to Edgbaston. Georgie Heath, there's been another wicket.
Yeah, it's Charlie Dean who's really dragged England back into this game. She's just finished with 3 for 20 from her 4 overs. India now 131 for 6. They were absolutely flying. Looked like a 180 could have been on at one point. But now with just under 4 overs still to go there, 132 for 6. And England, they'll be feeling pretty positive, happy campers now. They're back in this game and could salvage some pride at the end of the series that they have already lost.
Georgie, thank you very much indeed. She's over at Edgbaston and she'll keep us updated all that goes on. And going in, as I said there, fight night, 8 o'clock. Gareth A. Davis and Adam Cattrall. He's Bayu, I'm Jason. This is Kickoff on talkSPORT. morning. It's Adebayo, Akinfenwa, me, Jason Cundy. This is Kick-Off on talkSPORT. We're going to go back to the lines. Now, we're talking earlier, wouldn't we, about Forest and the release clause and Spurs coming in. It's got loads of people's attention. Let's go and speak to Michael. He's a Liverpool fan. All right, Mike?
Hey there, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just to let you know, guys, I've been home for the last 5-10 minutes. I've missed the last 5-10 minutes of the conversation, so my point might be mute now. But...
Right, okay. Well, listen, no point is mute on talkSPORT, right?
Yeah.
That's very true.
Go on then, matey.
It was just about the confidential thing, whether or not this is the actual thing, but it was also talking about, and you'd mentioned it literally just after I called, with Arsenal bidding the 40 million and £1 for Suarez. Yeah. But we knocked that, as far as I can remember, we knocked that back. It didn't actually happen. No. So is there a legal point for Forest to be able to knock this back?
No. So I think what happened, from my memory, you tell me differently, I seem to remember Luis Suarez got a new contract.
Oh, it could be. I honestly can't remember.
I got a feeling that Suarez and Liverpool sat down. Yeah, they've met the release clause, but the player doesn't have to go.
Yeah, the
player doesn't have to go.
You can come in. If the player says no, he doesn't want to go. He don't go.
Yeah, I just been told by my producer that was correct. That was my memory. That Liverpool
could have been. But the other thing I was going to say is that so you were talking about the release clauses and saying how much of like a good idea it was for release clauses to be a common thing. The only bad thing is, would you not start seeing a lot more players running down their contracts, and leaving for frees? So if say with your Trent situation, if we had a release clause for 120 million, Madrid were never going to put 120 million in. So you just going to get players that are just going to say, no, I'm not signing a new contract.
I think if players want to run the contract down, they'll do it irrespective.
It doesn't change the fact. If if they want to run their contract down, they run their contract down. It's just I believe a release clause just comes and even what it is, it meets.
It makes it so much simpler. It makes it a much simpler.
It makes it simple. Yeah, it makes it simpler process to go either way. So
you don't have your long drawn out transfer sagas ever again. It makes it so much easier in that sense. I just feel that for your smaller clubs, it might mean that you've got opportunities where you're going to lose a lot more money on players. But yeah, no, I was just curious about that with the Nottingham Forest thing, and also just a shout out, just anybody that doesn't remember that the Liverpool Preston game tomorrow is on ITV, free to watch. Jota Memorial is going to be phenomenal.
Okay,
it's just for anybody that's going to get an opportunity to see that.
Brilliant stuff. Listen, thank you very much, Mikey. Top man.
Lovely evening, guys.
Cheers, bud. Just some news that broke, I think, the last 24 hours. So Andrea Onana has been ruled out of Manchester United's entire pre-season programme after the Cameroonian goalkeeper suffered a hamstring tear on the second day of training. Onana will be sidelined for between 4 to 6 weeks, potentially keeping out over United's opening Premier League game. Well, not potentially, but will. Fixture against Arsenal and Fulham as well. They're linked with John Victor from Botafogo and one or two other players as well. It's one of those pre-season, mate, in injury, 2 days in. I mean, pre-season, it's the toughest part of a footballer's life, right?
Oh, my
It is, honestly, mate, people don't understand it. It is brutal, right?
Like nowadays, you've got, and again, it's where football's changed. You've got people doing pre-seasons. So they go out and do a pre-season for the pre-season.
To keep fit during the season.
It's the most, oh my days.
That's one thing I don't miss, right?
Oh,
miss the money,
days.
Don't miss pre-season.
I'll say this now, I'll be saying this. I was like, oh, I don't miss that at all.
No. Listen, before we let you go, Bayo, you're a big Liverpool fan, of course, and the tragic news a couple of weeks ago now, I think it is, Diego Jota sadly passed away in a car crash with his brother Andre. Devastating, mate. It was. There are no words, right? There are no words, matey. But as a Liverpool fan, I just would like to get your.
Do you know what?
Thoughts.
It's even now. I heard it after when it first came out. It was in the WhatsApp group, and you're kind of thinking, no, this can't be.
I had to check several different places. I didn't believe one source.
That's exactly what happens. And I think for me, it's on so many levels and layers, being a father, being a son, being a brother, being a husband, being a footballer. And I'm just talking about on every aspect of layers. And even speaking now, for me, I think I get overwhelmed, because
so sad.
It's the most saddest thing in regards, because I remember, I think his winner against Everton. I think his last goal.
It was. Anfield, yeah.
It was just, and that whole Diego, the Slotters back, it was just, for me, and again, for myself on a personal note, we used to play FIFA against one another, and he just, brother, I blamed it on my Wi-Fi. That's how many got, brother. He would whoop me, and I just blamed it on and I think it hit the world, and it continues to hit the world. And listen, I've lost players that I've played with, Marvin Morgan was one, Lee Collins was one, Tony Beddoe was one, and as the Liverpool players, my heart goes out to 4 kids under 3. Sorry, 3 kids under 4. Sorry, and his wife. So we're feeling it. I can only imagine how his family's feeling it, and of course the Liverpool players, where he used to change because we all change at the same place where he used to eat. It is so. Look, at times, because life goes on, and then all of a sudden you'll mention it or see something, and it just brings it right back to. Man, it's when I speak about it, I just
no.
Oh man,
no. I know it's going to be very emotional. Of course, the first game in the Premier League is at Anfield against Bournemouth on the Friday before the weekend starts. It's going to be an incredible emotional time, and I can't. It's. I done the show with Jamie that night, mate, and it was so sad. It as you mentioned there, so many levels of sadness. And again, I extend everyone's condolences to everyone and Liverpool Football Club, because it's a tragedy that you don't often get modern day football. You don't get it, mate.
You don't.
I don't. A Premier League winner, just won the UEFA Nations League. In the prime, just got married.
It goes from the month. He had a month. Listen, people know about my faith. He had a month where you would thank God over and over again. Premier League, National League, getting married, and we say tomorrow isn't promised, and then things happen where it just really reiterates that, where it reinforced that, and it's just. And again, the thing is, and I never try to. We know that there's a lot of things going on in this world. We know this. Do you know what I'm saying? But as human nature, you can't help what impacts you the most. And then he was 28, and I know JC. Oh man, jeez.
I know, matey. Incredibly sad. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for your company.
Always
thank you guys at home for listening as well. I'm back on Monday evening with Mr. O'Hara with the Sports World. Next up, though, it's Fight Night. Adam Catcher and Gareth A. Davies. Enjoy the weekend.